You know that moment of dread you get when you're writing a text about how much you hate your boss? But instead of sending it to your friend, you accidentally send it to him instead? Yeah. I want you to multiply that terrifying moment by about 1 million.
Yeah, I know North Korea, how North Korea get down. The fact that North Korea is only on the first level is crazy, my nigga, because, like, North Korea, bro, I heard they kill generations, bro. They'll kill your entire bloodline, bro, and, like, do some wild.
Exactly how it feels like when soldiers kick down your door at 3 a.m. in North Korea. Maybe you've been convicted for criticizing the government to the wrong person. Maybe you were caught watching smuggled South Korean drama. Or maybe you simply dozed off during one of Kim Jong-un's speeches. It doesn't really matter what you did, because your fate was sealed the moment someone reported you. You're simply going to be executed, but not in the way you might imagine. The soldiers will arrive at your door before dawn, kick it down, and drag you out of your bed, then load you into the back
bro, they're gonna grab you by your nuts, bro.
of their truck. Your family will helplessly watch as you vanish into the darkness. A few hours later, you'll find yourself standing in an open field in Pyongyang, a military training ground, far from any city. You are tied to a pole, your hands are bound behind you, and you can't move. The pole is planted somewhere about 100 feet away from an anti-aircraft cannon.
Damn.
This thing wasn't originally built for people. It was designed to literally blow up aircraft thousands of feet in the sky. But now, it's aimed at you. The soldiers force
Fuck, bro. Holy shit. Yeah, GG's, gang. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just put it in, bro. Just put it in, bro.
you to your knees and bind your hands behind your back. A thick rope is wrapped around your torso, securing you to a wooden pole, with no room to breathe freely. The crowds are already gathered, because this isn't going to be a private affair. It is a message, a spectacle designed to terrify anyone else who might dare to step out of line. The crowd watches and forces...
I think y'all sent enough messages, my nigga. I'm gonna be honest, I think y'all sent enough messages by now. Dead ass serious. I think everybody got the message by now.
Silence, because showing any sympathy for you could mean they're next.
Wow.
You stand there, tied to that pole, knowing what's about to happen without being able to do anything about it. Your last thoughts narrow on the bathroom. You wish you could have used it before your execution, but interrupting Kim Jong-un again would only result in your family being targeted next. And besides, it doesn't really matter since you pee your pants in fear when they fire the cannon at you. On the bright side, nobody would ever know that you wet your pants in your final moments, because the shell doesn't just end you, it literally evaporates you.
You're just, gang, you're about to get pencil sketched like a anime, man. This leveled up his animation for sure, though. I'm not gonna hold this shit looking clean.
Becomes so obliterated that there's nothing left but fragments scattered across the field. There is no body to bury, no remains, and no more pieces of your existence. The only thing left behind is a glaringly obvious message. Don't upset Kim. Japan. You've been sentenced to death in Japan for murder. But unlike
Japan got some worse shit than North Korea, bro?
Countries where you might know your execution date months in advance, Japan doesn't work that way. They don't tell you when you're going to pass away. You're placed in a cell barely larger than a bathroom. The walls are bare concrete. You wake up every single morning not knowing if this is your last day alive and if today is the day they're going to come for you. The uncertainty is deliberate. It's part of the punishment. You're isolated in that tiny cell with minimal human contact. Even the guards don't speak to you that much. You have no access to the outside world and no way of knowing what's happening beyond those walls.
You about to put a katana up your butt, bro.
Every footstep in the hallway could be them coming to get you. Every time you hear keys jingling, your heart races. Days pass, then months, then years. The stress and anxiety from anticipation drives you absolutely insane after a decade has passed. Then finally, in passing while a guard is giving you your food for the day, he lets you know that in just 3 hours you're going to be executed. After all that waiting and psychological torture of not knowing, you only get a few hours notice that today is the day.
Damn, bro, you're gonna, like, my heart's gonna be in your ass,
They lead you to the execution chamber, and, well, yeah. According to a 2009 investigation by The Guardian and Amnesty International, this system of uncertainty has driven some prisoners to develop severe mental illness from the prolonged psychological torment. They pace their cells obsessively, talking to themselves.
So it's more of like a mental thing, bro. Like, it's just because of how, like, they're letting you know and shit like that. It's more of a mental thing, bro.
Detached from reality.
Do niggas get executed like that in Japan, though? Oh, maybe, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie, my nigga. The gun devil kind of cooked niggas. I ain't gonna.
By the time they're finally executed, some of them don't even fully understand what's happening anymore. Afghanistan.
Now
imagine you're in a country that's living under Taliban
rule. You want to find out? Not really.
You've been accused of adultery or maybe theft. The trial, if you could really even call it that, is quick. there'd be no real defense or due process. The verdict is already decided before you even walk into the room, and now you've been sentenced to death, especially if you're a woman. They take you out into a public square where a crowd has already started to gather.
A whole
Men,
crowd.
women, and even children are there because the Taliban wants everyone to see what happens to those who break their law.
Yeah, nigga, I'm not gonna lie, you do be cutting your hands off in certain countries, bro, just for stealing and shit like that. Yo, there's a couple countries I will never go to, my nigga, just because I don't want no smoke, nigga. If they do that for stealing, gang, they definitely do it if you're black.
You're forced to your knees beside a tall wall, about 15 feet high, made of concrete and stone. Your back is pressed against it. Then they tie your hands and announce your crime to the crowd, shouting it loud enough for everyone to hear. The accusation, the sentence, all of it laid bare for public consumption. Then you hear a bulldozer rumbling. It's deep,
oh my God,
and growing louder with each passing second. That's when the reality of what's about to happen.
Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm about to be executed and shit like, though, what do you even do in that shit? Well, shit, ain't nothing you could do, man. Bro, you're dead ass about to be executed, my nigga. You literally just sitting there, bro, just waiting for somebody to take you out, gang. All you hear is like, nigga, it's cooked, bro.
Truly hits you. They're not going to you. They're not going to hit you. They're literally going to crush you. The bulldozer's blade makes contact with the wall and it starts to tilt. You try to move, but the ropes hold you in place. The wall starts falling, slowly at first, then faster, and there's absolutely nothing you can do.
For stealing, gang.
Concrete and stone come crashing down on top of you with thousands of pounds of
holy!
Your bones shatter on impact.
This nigga got a better animation than One Punch Man.
Your chest is compressed, and you're buried alive under the rubble. The crowd watches as the dust settles, and somewhere beneath that pile of concrete and stone, your life ends in agony. Saudi Arabia.
Holy, yo, bro, I'm not gonna hold, bro. That's like, you can't go to Afghanistan, bro. You can't go to Afghanistan, bro. You can get that for being a woman, bro, and doing some shit, bro. That's hard, bro. Saudi Arabia too, bro. Isn't Saudi Arabia one of like the richest countries, chat? Oh,
imagine.
I also hear that like rich niggas shitting on women in Saudi Arabia too. So you know, take that as you will.
In agony. Saudi Arabia. Imagine you've been convicted of taking someone's life, trafficking illegal substances,
in Dubai,
or maybe apostasy, which is renouncing Islam. The trial is over, and you've been sentenced to execution.
Wow.
In Saudi Arabia, that means one thing: a public beheading by sword.
Arab money.
On the morning of your execution, you're transported to a public square in the center of the city. Locals call it Chop Chop Square, a grim nickname that's become normalized through repetition.
Chop Chop Square?
The execution always takes place after Friday prayers, and there's already of the city. On the morning of your execution, you're transported to a public square in the center of the city. Locals call it Chop Chop Square.
Dira Square, also known as Justice Square, Safa Square, or Chop Chop Square, is a public space in Al Dira, the neighborhood of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's located adjacent to, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Shout out to Saudi Arabia. Damn, bro. Go D. Roger.
Nickname that's become normalized through repetition. The execution always takes place after Friday prayers, and there's already a crowd gathered to watch. You're forced to kneel on the ground.
Pray, bruh, and then they gonna watch you get executed. That's tough.
While an executioner stands behind you. He's holding a long, traditional Arabic sword, sharp enough to cut through bone.
Bro, they got the I was about to say something crazy.
In one swift motion, the executioner raises the sword high above his head and brings it down with practiced precision. If he's skilled, and he usually is, your head is severed from your body in a single stroke. But if he's not, he keeps repeating the process until your head is chopped off. Your consciousness doesn't fade immediately. For somewhere between 2 and 7 seconds, your brain may still function. You may still be aware, even as your head separates from your body and falls to the ground.
What show was it where that was a thing where, or maybe it was some history I seen where somebody got their head cut off and they were still blinking, bro. But I feel like it might have been both. But like I've heard of that before though, bro. I heard of that before, bro.
Then everything goes dark. Saudi Arabia is one of the last countries in the world that still uses beheading as its primary method of execution.
Demon Slayer. Well, those are demons.
South Africa.
That's tough.
Let's
bro.
shift to
South
the 90s
Africa.
During a country.
Damn, bro. Like, bro, don't commit no crimes out there. If you're gonna commit a crime, bro, just commit it over here, bro. Don't commit a crime over there, bro.
internal strife against apartheid. Imagine you're suspected of being an informant, someone who's been working with the segregated government
what Defro
while
looks like
intentionally
around the
selling
world.
out your own people. Maybe
Damn,
it's true,
if you're
maybe
a
it's not.
snitch,
In the chaos of resistance and revolution, accusations alone are often enough. There's no trial, no judge, no jury, just mob justice. They grab you in the street or drag you from your home, force ties over your head and arms, one after another, until you're wearing multiple ties that trap your arms against your torso like a straitjacket made of rubber. You can't move them. You can't fight back. You can't even escape. Then someone brings gasoline. You smell it before you feel it, and the sharp chemical odor makes your eyes water. They pour it over the tires, over
gang, you're getting burned in the street.
you, and it soaks into your clothes, into your hair, into everything. There you are, begging, screaming, trying to explain, but the crowd isn't listening. The only
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Africa don't play. I know this specifically South Africa, but like very short story time. My mom told me that there was like I don't think she was an aunt. I think she might have been one of my aunts, or maybe she was like a family friend, like a close family friend or something like that. She lived in Ghana, bro. This boy, she was old too. She had retired and shit like that, bro. We thinking some places in Africa is safe, which some places are, bro, but like nowhere is actually safe. So basically, this boy, like, she would basically always give food to this boy or whatever the case may be. She would always give food to this. And one day, and the whole neighborhood would give food to this, bro. One day, the just tweaked out, bro, and he knocked on her door. He broke in her house, bro, and he killed her, my nigga. He killed her like for money and shit like that. So you know, she ended up dying and shit like that. And I remember my mom was sad about it. I think it was a family friend or something like that. But the part of the story that I'm correlating to this is that when they caught him and shit like that, they stoned that. I'm not gonna lie. The dude's still alive. He got stoned though, you know. He got stoned in prison, outside of prison. Like the nigga, like they stoned that, bro. I heard when they caught that nigga, he literally stoned that nigga. He all threw rocks at that. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. So yeah, shit, dude. Like punishment, like in different areas is different, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. They really do that too. Over here, they like are kind of lenient with shit, bro.
thing people want to see
Is he Maharaga? I don't know how he do it. I'm just relaying to y'all what my mom told me though, bro. Like this was recent. This was like last year or two though, bro. So who knows? Maybe he did die, but they did stone that nigga though.
a lighter setting you ablaze. And set ablaze you are. When the fire starts,
Last year, hell yeah. She told me this. This happened last year, bro.
the heat is immediate and excruciating. The rubber tires begin to melt, fusing with your skin as the flames consume you. This isn't a quick passing. The fire burns slowly, and every second feels like an eternity. You're conscious for most of it, feeling your body being destroyed by the flames.
Right,
The crowd watches,
That
some in
sucks.
approval, some in horror, but no one stops it. This was necklacing, a brutal form of execution
Necklacing?
used during the anti-apartheid struggle. While it wasn't an official government method, it became a horrifying symbol of the violence that consumed South Africa during that era.
They don't do it no more. Oh, yeah. I ain't gonna hold. I couldn't even, like, we already know what these is on, bro. Whatever they say, I'm not gonna be surprised.
If you've ever wondered what death looks like in a territory controlled by ISIS, you're about to get a glimpse of it. Imagine that you are accused
You
of
probably, like, split your legs apart and then put a bomb in that bitch, bro.
homosexuality or adultery,
Nigga said ISIS fell. Okay, come on, bro.
or maybe a crime that violates their extreme interpretation of Islamic law. You wouldn't require a judge to tell you what will happen next. There's no real trial, just an accusation and a sentence. They take you to the top of a tall building, about 4 to 5 stories high, in the center of town. A crowd gathered to witness your punishment.
Holy shit.
You're
GG's
standing
for
on the
Ryai.
edge, and before
What the f you mean GG's for Ryai?
you can even process what's happening, they push you to the ground. You free fall for a couple seconds, but when you land, the impact is so devastating that your bones break and your
bro.
organs rupture. If you're unlucky, you may still be conscious.
Yo, if I
when you hit
survive
the
that, I'm
ground.
gonna be
And
sick,
yes,
bro.
Surviving this execution is extraordinarily unlucky because ISIS doesn't stop there. If you're still alive after the fall, the crowd that's been watching you doesn't disperse. Instead, they move in closer while picking up stones, rocks, and whatever else they can
bro.
find. They begin throwing them at your broken body. Whether you're already dead or still clinging to life, they stone you, continuing the brutality even after the fall. United States.
Damn, US, what US got, bro? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, France gonna be on here for guillotine. Yo, now that we're talking about, you know, that group, my nigga, I'll never forget this, bro.
ISIS, if you come to New York City and you try to blow anything up, I'm coming for you. Yeah, ISIS. Yeah, ISIS. We from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. ISIS. They killed my boy Biggie. ISIS, if...
Yeah. All right, yo, she actually passed away. RP to her too, though, bro. She was really on one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Uncle, thank you for that sub, though, bro. Thank you for that sub, though, bro. Okay, let's finish out this video, bro. US chat.
Even after the fall. United States. The United
They
States
got her? No, bro.
likes to present itself as more civilized and more humane in how it handles capital punishment. Lethal injection is supposed to be clean, clinical, and painless. But before it became the standard, there was the electric chair, a machine with a history of horrific failures. Alan Lee Davis, known as Tiny, because of his massive 300-pound frame, was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in Florida. On July 8, 1999, he was strapped into the state's electric chair, a device meant to deliver a quick and supposedly humane passing. But something went wrong. The executioners strapped Davis in too tightly, and the moment they flipped the switch, 2,000 volts of electricity.
I really never thought about how crazy it must feel to get electrocuted by the electric chair, but fuck, though, bro. Fuck.
Surged through his body, causing immediate and severe physical trauma. Alan's face bursted open, with pouring out of his eyes, mouth, nose, and his, groin area. His passing was not instant.
His dick was
Executioners
bleeding.
were forced to listen to the 300-pound man's muffled screams as he struggled to get free from the chair's straps. The execution was so disturbing that it sparked immediate controversy. Photos of Davis afterward were released to the media and ignited a nationwide debate about
I
the
wouldn't be able to
electric
look at
chair
them
and whether it qualified as cruel
Yeah, photos
and
of
unusual
him?
punishment. Alan's case was so extreme that he became the last man to be executed by the electric chair, forcing Florida to change its method to lethal injections instead. However,
I'm telling you, bring back guillotine, man. Bring back guillotine, bro. I'm telling you, my nigga.
he wasn't the only one to suffer a botched ending like this in Florida. 9 years earlier,
Florida,
Jesse
bro.
Tafero faced the same chair after being convicted of murdering 2 police officers. The procedure had been checked and rechecked, or so they believed. The moment the current flowed, flames literally exploded from Tafero's head, shocking everyone in the room.
Wow.
The execution team
Yo, holy shit, nigga got Pikachu level electricity in that. Everybody got it.
stopped and restarted the current 3 times before the man's suffering was finally
Wow,
ended.
that sucks. It was torturing that.
Later
nigga.
investigations revealed the cause. Someone had used a synthetic sponge instead of the natural sea sponge required for proper electrical conduction.
Wow.
The synthetic sponge could not conduct electricity correctly and overheated.
Oh, that's
causing
the
the
sponge that y'all was talking about. Y'all was talking about the sponge. I was like, nigga, what the fuck? I ain't even watched the SpongeBob movie, man. But damn.
Some countries make executions fast and public. Others let the slow psychological damage happen long before the physical demise. Either way, the condemned are stripped of their humanity and turned into symbols or statistics. Whether you support or oppose capital punishment, these stories force us to face a hard truth. The way we treat even the worst among us says something about us as a society. Be kind to the people around you, value the security and freedoms you have, and as usual, have a happy day.
Yo, talking hat though, bro. That was a crazy video. That nigga animation getting crazy though. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. That is what death row looks like across the world and shit like that. Definitely, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Getting set on fire, bro, sounds pretty. All those don't sound good. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. But none of us will hopefully ever be on death row to feel those. I'm not gonna lie to you. But anyways, if you watch this on the tube, Twitch Blueryai in the description. Come to the fucking stream though. Come to the fucking stream though, bro. But yeah, IBBG. Oh no. Oh no, Chad. Like, I can't look at this video to save, bro.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a couple of ways that gooning can take you out.
Bro could have sold his own
But,
t-shirts.
So that this video...
Live by the goon, die by the goon. That week was so crazy, bro. The saying he was Lisa and I goon, the little gooner that could, bro. Bro, they were saying all types of shit though, bro. The gooner who flew too close to the sun, like they would say crazy shit about this week, bro.
Where have you been?
This is from Talking Hat, and this is 10 things you didn't know could kill you. Like, Talking Hat, like, he be making all the, like, okay, I'm not talking lively, no lively. He be making, like, He be making like these joints. Like we watched the most painful extreme sports, the fast food ones. It's just interesting because he animates it like those. Let's see how it's going, man.
Air hoses.
Okay, well, GG's.
Contrary to belief, air hoses are extremely dangerous. Although they're often used for filling up car tires, blowing out dust in keyboards, and inflating huge bouncy castles. They also carry enough pressure to tear through skin, damage internal organs, or even be fatal if mishandled. On a calm morning in May 2011, a truck driver in New Zealand was going about his daily routine. He climbed onto the rigging between his truck's cabin trailer, a place he'd stood countless times before. But in one unlucky moment, his boot slipped, and instead of falling on steady ground, the man fell backwards straight onto his compressed air hose. The brass nozzle punctured him through his left buttock, and in an instant, high pressurized air about...
Oh my god, bro. He said, bro said, Truth is untied, options are few.
This got it the craziest way
ever, bro. He got it in the worst way ever, gang. What the f, bro? Air prior pressure up the bum, bro.
And in an instant, high pressurized air...
Why he blushing?
100
I don't want to make no jokes because this obviously ain't make it, but like...
nozzle punctured him through his left buttock, and in an instant, high pressurized air about 100 pounds per square inch began flooding into his body. As if it was straight out of a cartoon, the man's body began to inflate. Air forced its way beneath his muscles and fat, separating his tissue like it were sheets of paper. His chest tightened, his skin stretched, and his face ballooned into a grotesque puff. Co-workers who happened to cross his path screamed in terror. They quickly rushed to his side, shocked at the mortifying sight. They shut off the air supply and carefully rolled him onto his side, knowing his lungs and heart were under pressure.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that's like some straight out of Final Destination. A lot of this he talk about in his video just seemed like some Final Destination, but it seemed like straight out of Final Destination, bro. Could you imagine your entire body just inflating instantly, bro? That is, bro, that's such a terrible way to go out. Like, well, I don't know if he died, but it said this video is called 10 Things You Didn't Know Can Kill You, so I think it might be GG's.
Ice packs were pressed against his swollen neck and chest to try and ease the suffocating strain. Ambulance crews arrived as fast as they could, but when they found the man, he could barely breathe. His body literally doubled in size. It was full with so much air that every time an EMT tried to put a needle in his body to start an IV, the air would just push it right out. Doctors later compared his skin to feeling like densely packed bubble wrap just waiting to explode. But luckily for this man, he didn't explode. It took days for the air to escape his tissue, but against all odds, he survived by farting it all out of his body.
Oh, wow.
Others, however, wouldn't be as lucky.
Gang, I'm not gonna lie, if his co-workers didn't come when he did, that nigga would have blown up. He would have, like, bro, because he was really right there, bro. He was really right there, and it was really gonna be over for this. I'm not gonna hold. That's such a crazy way. You would never think when you're, now when I'm putting air in my car, like, now I'm gonna be like, I really gotta lock in, bro. That just seemed like terrible ways to go out, bro. It's gonna be, he would have exploded. Mind you, this is someone's fetish. If somebody has any fetish like that, I genuinely want you to go ahead and seek help, you know, and go ahead and call the proper authorities because you need to be in prison.
Like the time a poultry worker in Mississippi got carried away with his friend while horseplaying, and for some odd reason, he decided to stick an air hose in his,
It's just a prank, bro. The prank.
Get out there!
The prank. This is the prank, gang. This is the prank, my nigga. We putting water hoses up butts as a joke.
The hose was so immense that he blew up from the inside, rupturing most of his organs in the process. Surprisingly, there are a lot of cases like this, so even though they're fun to play with, air hoses are dangerous. Always keep them in safe places and please don't misuse them. A broken heart.
There's a lot of cases like that. I guess pressurized air and shit like that, some people might find it fun to play with it, but like putting in each other's bro. And there's somebody who that gets off to that. That's sick.
It shouldn't be,
Broken
but
heart.
true love often feels like one of the rarest things to find in life, and once you find it, you never want it to leave you. Such wasn't the case for a man who was forced to read his wife's eulogy at her funeral after he supported her for a 4-year battle against ovarian cancer.
Bro.
The pair were inseparable. The man became engaged to her when he was just 21 years old, and the two would go on to be married for 34 years. That's my age. Instead of making more memories with the companion of his life, he was making funeral speeches and writing thank you letters to those who came to the service. The amount of exertion something like this can have on one's heart is no joke. Only mere moments after the eulogy, the man was found slumped over in his house, in the middle of writing thank you letters. He had literally passed away from a broken heart. Doctors said his grief was so profound that it caused him to have a heart attack. And this wasn't just an isolated incident, it's a phenomenon that happens.
It happens from like he's stressed out, he's stressed, he's sad, like there's a lot going on, bro. Like I really think, Chad, I think in life, bro, like you could really just die from being stressed out. I know not everybody has this luxury and shit like that, but just try to do the things that you love, spend time with the people that you love and shit like that. Just stressing out in life, bro, it's just a way to like an early grave like those. So I know it's a stressful time, especially right now, but just keep your head up, bro.
Many others as well. It's called broken heart syndrome, or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. It's a temporary heart condition triggered by intense emotional or mental stress that makes the heart's main pumping chamber weaken, causing it to mimic the symptoms of a literal heart attack.
Wow.
Soda cans. Imagine that
I just had a Sprite in here earlier, bro. Hopefully I'm straight.
it's a hot summer day, and you've done nothing but bask in the sun's overwhelming rays of heat all morning. You're parched, so you go indoors to get yourself a nice cold can of soda. But, to your disappointment, none of the drinks were put away in the fridge. They were left out on the table, so now they're just warm and gross. You come up with an idea. You take one of the cans of soda and throw it into the freezer in order to speed up the cooling of the beverage. To wait for it to cool down, you go and watch some YouTube and then end up falling asleep.
Okay.
Hours
How could
pass,
this go wrong?
and you forget that you left the soda in there. Eventually, when you wake up and stumble across your fridge again, you remember that you put a soda in its freezer, hoping that the drink
it's
has
going to be pressurized, bro. It's going to be pressurized.
and frozen solid. You quickly take it out of the
He's gonna
freezer,
open
crack
it.
it open, and boom. Just like that. The can explodes like a hand grenade right in front of your face. This is a real case that happened to a boy in China on August 25th, 2012. Luckily for this boy, however, medical professionals were able to save him and nurse him back to health. Frozen soda cans are extremely dangerous, and in some cases, they're even lethal. Freezing them forces the carbon dioxide in the soda to quickly pack
I don't think I've
reservoirs
ever frozen. I think I've seen people freeze sodas before, but I don't think I've ever personally frozen a soda before, bro.
inside of the can that store high amounts of energy similar to a bomb. So keep your soda in the fridge, and if you do put it in the freezer, don't forget to take it out so that you don't go boom, boom.
Sup, tube? What's up, man? Right now. Oh, wait, hold on. Where's my chat? Oh, there you go. Sup, tube? What's up, man? Oh, that don't hit like that. Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, bro. Bro, just come to Twitch. Blueryai, Twitch Blueryai right here. Follow up. We're about to hit 200K. Please follow up and stuff like that. Come to the stream. If you don't watch streams, I didn't ask. Come to the streams and stuff like that. And then there's a gaming channel and a live channel. Come follow the live channel too. And then yeah, you can get back to your video and stuff like that. But just go ahead and do that. And it's in the link down below. And yeah, go ahead and do that. Oh no. Oh no, chat. That's your biz.
Hi, how are you?
Oh man, bro. Good guy. It's crazy, Shaq. If he really didn't do that to himself, bro, like I'm pretty sure this story would have just like kind of flew by. Like I'm pretty sure this story wouldn't have been as big as it did, bro. Now this is forever known as the ghost of the goon, bro. Like that, like it's crazy. Like he could have recovered. I promise you, he could have. Like it wasn't the end for him. Like at most, he probably would have gotten arrested and then got back out and then did what he had to do, bro. I'm not going, but bro offed himself and now is cemented in the Goon Hall of Fame, bro. Just say his name.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah. Oh man, like I can't look at this video to say, bro.
You need to leave.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a couple of ways that gooning can take you out.
Bro could have sold his own
But,
t-shirts.
So that this video...
Live by the goon, die by the goon. That week was so crazy, bro. Saying he was Lisa and I goon, live by the goon, die by the goon, the little gooner that could, bro. Bro, they were saying all types of shit though, bro. One last goon for the road, bro. Like what the gooner who flew too close to the sun. Like they were saying crazy shit about this week, bro. He did it many times too.
Apparently, there's a couple of ways that gooning can take you out.
Mythical gooner.
But, so that this video doesn't get demonetized, I'll be swift on the topic. The risk of passing away from this is extremely low, especially if you're a healthy individual. However, if you're struggling with any underlying cardiovascular diseases, it's possible that excessiveness could trigger a heart attack, arrhythmia, or a stroke. On September 18th, in 2019, A heartbroken teen, suffering from depression, would find himself unable to ignore how his last Valentine's Day went. I don't really know how, but he snuck past his parents and locked himself away in a room, where he then gooned himself to destruction.
What the fuck?
He gooned 56 times until...
Oh, it
he had
is
a
his
heart attack.
story.
However, I'd take this case with a huge gulp of salt, because due to the bizarreness of his passing, tons of media outlets have exaggerated how he went out, often claiming that he did it 100 times and ripped his thing off his body, which is obviously just not true. Vending machines.
So he did actually goon 56 times though, bro. 55 is the limit. Niggas were saying, oh, so 55 is the limit. Like, come on, bro. Come on, it's like, come on, bro.
He was infuriated.
We gonna beat the world record. Who is we? Who is we? And the thing is, if there's ever a Guinness World Record book for gooning, how are they going to prove the authenticity? Like, is you just gonna have to stroke in front of the dude just looking like that nigga, you hit the motherfucker, oh, one. Oh, one, okay, that's one right there, okay. Two, okay, that would be 7 claps per nut, okay. Okay, 3, okay, that's interesting. Like, it's like, how are they really going to gauge that down?
A man had just put the only dollar he had on him into the vending machine, and his snack was stuck inside of the machine.
I hate that when it happens, bro. I need my
had
snack.
a simple solution. Just shake the stupid clanker. The man began rocking the vending machine back and forth over and over again, until his snack finally fell and was free for him to take. Unfortunately, however, it wouldn't be the only thing to fall.
Oh.
1,200-pound vending machine would also tip.
Oh yeah, he's actually dead. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that sucks. 12, bro. He's just seen a shadow come up and like it's 1,200 pounds, bro. He's cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
Tip over on him and crush his neck against a wall. The man would be pinned against the wall, struggling to keep the machine from fully flattening his neck. But sadly, his efforts would prove to be fruitless. He wouldn't survive to see the next day. More people pass away from vending machines than they do shark attacks.
Wow.
There's about 2 to 4 casualties from vending machines each year in the US. So, if the machine isn't giving up your snack, you can get angry at it, you can swear at it, but don't get into a fight with it. 10 out of 10 times, you will lose. Sudden choking.
That's crazy. It's like, well, you can't even do nothing at that point. Died over a vending machine snack, bro. That's tough.
Friends, chilling at a party, and conversing with other people while losing track of time. And then that's when it hits you. You start choking on literally nothing. It's called a laryngospasm. It's a sudden, violent, and involuntary spasm of your vocal cords that is so forceful that it entirely blocks your body's airways.
What?
Mild cases of laryngospasms last just a few seconds, while more intense cases can last up to a few minutes, which is pretty horrifying when you think about it. 1 second, you're chilling on some mobile games. The next second, you're literally fighting for your life and suffocating on nothing. If this ever happens to you, don't panic or try to gasp for
sensitive,
extra
my
air.
bad.
Remaining calm helps your muscles relax. Take small sips of water to clear any possible irritants causing the spasm, and apply pressure on the soft spots behind your earlobes. It'll help your vocal cords ease up. And most importantly, seek professional help. Restaurant
That's so
signs.
crazy.
In January 2023, a swarm of fierce winds ripped through
Restaurant sign.
Elizabeth. A family arrived at their favorite local Denny's to start their morning off with some warm pancakes and coffee, an entirely questionable option for breakfast. No offense. However, towering above the Denny's parking lot was an 80-foot sign weighing more than a ton.
Holy shit.
The sign was a glowing beacon for bacon, eggs, and pancakes. But for this family, it became the last thing they'd ever see. A 72-year-old woman sat in the car with her husband and daughter when a storm outside struck.
Oh my god.
The pole groaned
It's a ton
under the wind's
too?
pressure. Then, without warning, it suddenly snapped. The massive sign came crashing down on the car, crushing the roof and trapping the family inside. Unfortunately, the 72-year-old lady didn't survive its impact, and her husband would also go on to pass away from the injuries the accident gave him. There are multiple cases where restaurant signs, gas station signs, and storefronts
That's
fall
so
on people.
unfortunate, bro. It's just
So,
wrong
never be
place, wrong
discouraged
time.
to keep your distance from an unstable-looking board that's giving you an off feeling when you're entering a business. It might just save your life. Sneezing. We all do it.
Dying from
You're sitting in
sneezing?
a job interview or in a library.
Somebody told me this once, and this low-key like bothered me when I first heard it. But like your heart technically stops when you sneeze and shit like that. So maybe like somebody's sneeze triggered a heart attack.
Or in front of your date, and then you feel it coming. The tingling sensation that tickles the small hairs
Bro, I
inside
sneeze
of your
sound
nose,
deadly.
letting you know that
Chill.
you're about to sneeze. The natural thing to do is to let that sneeze fly. Well, while trying to not make a mess. But oftentimes instead, we just find ourselves stifling the sneeze.
Holding in a
Don't.
sneeze can kill you?
My anatomy teacher in high school always told us to break the habit, and honestly, it makes sense as to why. During a sneeze, if your mouth and nose are both closed, the pressure generated in the airways can surpass more than 20 times its normal amount. And in a recent case during 2023, a man sick with hay fever held in his sneeze by instinctively pinching his nose and closing his mouth. The force that built up in his airways was so immense that it literally tore open his windpipe. It's extremely rare to pass away from this, but nonetheless, holding in a sneeze just isn't worth gambling your life. Christmas trees. There's no better feeling in the world than to finish setting up your Christmas tree in time for the holiday.
Trees?
Nothing beats a Christmas with fruitcake, eggnog, and a house fire. US fire departments respond to an average of 200 home fires caused by Christmas trees each year. And as you would presume, these fires lead to casualties. Christmas tree house fires are significantly more dangerous than normal fires in your home. This is because these fires usually occur at night or early morning when people have gone to sleep but left all of their decorations plugged in.
Bro.
They're usually caused by candles that were placed too close to the tree, faulty wires, or heat caused by all of the decorative electrical elements. And as opposed to normal house
I remember to turn on my in here, bro, because there's a lot of heat that be going on with decorations and
fires that are slow and steady in their startup, Christmas fires with a dry tree can ignite and spread across a room in less than just 30 seconds. So, with that being said, try not to get too carried away with your holiday spirit this year. Doing nothing. You see,
doing what? Bro, how?
that signs can fall on you this year. Doing nothing.
GG's, bro. Yeah, just in case you thought, oh, okay, I can avoid this, and okay, oh, sign, don't be near signs, and okay, sneezing, don't hold in your sneeze, just in case you thought you was really gonna be on that tight time, and that where you're like, okay, I'm really gonna do this, and this. You could, you can, like, it's just GG's.
Fall on you. Beverages can explode in your face, and that Christmas trees can set you ablaze in your sleep. So you decide that the best course of action for you to avoid all danger is doing absolutely nothing. And then you explode into a ferocious blaze.
What the
that it leaves nothing but your feet behind. Weirdly enough,
anime
nothing you was affected. Not the couch you were sitting on, not the table in front of you, not the rug on the floor. Nothing. Just only specifically you. This is known as spontaneous human combustion.
Is this Fire Force? Is this Fire Force? What the Damn, spontaneous combustion is real? What the bruh? What the bruh? So most of y'all, some of y'all have seen Fire Force, but if you don't know, in the anime Fire Force, there's a fucking a thing where randomly just blow the fuck up. They just catch on fire, bro. And there's a reason for it in the show, but they just like randomly blow the fuck up, bro. Like, hold on, bro. This right here.
Catching fire. These were the first generation victims of spontaneous human combustion. They, and those like them,
Where's the first
are called infernals. Having lost all sense of self.
Where's that first episode who blew up? I'd be mad at That's exactly why I wouldn't want to live in a Fire Force universe, bro, because it's here. Just blew up! Just blew up for absolutely no fucking reason, bro. For no well, there is a reason, but like, bro just blew the up. Bro just blew up just cause, bro. What the like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Spontaneous combustion is real? Yeah, it's just GG.
Basically, you. This is known as spontaneous human combustion. And there are many cases
Beanie
in the
Boy
US
was.
about it. However, scientists nowadays discredit it fully and dub it as nothing more than a myth. They rather believe it to be the wick effect, which is when a person's clothing absorbs melted body fat during a fire and causes them to burn up, but leaves their surroundings relatively unharmed. Others feel like this isn't a sufficient enough explanation to the phenomenon though. They argue that if the fire's hot enough to consume you entirely and leave nothing but ashes behind, then it should also scorch nearby walls, furniture, and flooring. They also say for the wick effect to be true, it needs a clear spark, like a lighter or a candle. But in many of the cases, the victims aren't found with anything heat related. Toilet time.
Wow.
In Chicago
That's
in 1987,
insane,
a
bro.
70-year-old
Totally
woman
time.
would board a cruise ship with her family. As they explored the wonders on board and enjoyed the pleasant feeling of being on the ocean, the old lady would be greeted with another, less than pleasant feeling. So she
Oh, gotta take that level 5 chat. You know how that go, right? You having a good stream? No, of course I'm having a terrible stream. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna hold, bro. Like, fuck y'all, bro. Realistically.
excused herself from her family and made her way to the ship's bathroom, and there she was greeted with the solution to her bowel troubles: the toilet.
W
She
toilet.
closed the door behind her, sat on the seat, and did her business in peace. Minutes later,
Alright,
the ship's
bro.
medical personnel would rush past the family to the bathroom where their grandma was last seen. Out of concern, the family would follow, and as if it were a scene straight out of a horror movie, they would be met with the sight of their grandma.
Before we see what happened to the grandmother, didn't Elvis die on the toilet? Like that's what happened to that, bro.
And as if it were a scene straight out of a horror movie, they would be met with the sight of their grandma. Her insides were literally sucked out of her body by the ship's vacuum toilet. She was rushed to the emergency room once the cruise docked at a port. And even though cases like these are extraordinarily rare, toilets have been shown to cause lethal harm to civilians in other ways. Take, for instance, exploding. In 2017,
Yo, if my toilet ever explodes, bro, I'm not gonna lie, just put it in. I'm not gonna hold, bro. GG's.
a federal class action lawsuit was filed against a toilet company called American
She
Standard
survived. Well, insane, bro, that she lived through that. Is that insane that she just literally lived through that, bro?
after it received 300 reports of its toilets literally blowing up. And even this year, in 2025, a 20-year-old man suffered serious burn injuries after he pressed the flush button on his toilet and it responded with a loud explosive bang. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors revealed that 35% of his body was burned horribly by the explosion.
It's not funny, bro. It's really not funny, but it's just like the sound just came out of nowhere, bro. I'm sorry.
Doctors revealed that 35% of his body was burned horribly by the explosion, but luckily, he survived. If you couldn't tell, this was a birthday special for the channel. It's my way of thanking you
W
guys for all
birthday
the
special.
support you've given me this year. In just 2 months, we grew from 10,000 subscribers
W.
to over 250.
That was a good video,
I'm
chat.
extremely grateful. But anyways, love your neighbor, be safe, and have a happy day.
W happy day, bro. W happy day, bro. That was a good video, bro. Yo, I guess we have to avoid toilets and signs, and soda cans, and vending machines, and air hoses, and standing around, and doing nothing, and breathing. And nigga, I don't know, bro. We just cook, bro. Ain't doing nothing yet. So, and spontaneous combustion. So, anyways, we're gonna go and put those on the main channel. And sneezing, don't forget sneezing. We're gonna put those on the main channel. If you're watching this on the main channel, Twitch Blueryai in the description, bro. If you are doing any of the following things, bro, you might want to go ahead and change your life around, because obviously you're not doing it right, bro. But yeah, all right, BBG. All right.
As mentioned from witnesses, rather than her saying that she has a crime she needs to confess, the first words that left her mouth were something around the lines of, "I keep seeing her. I can't sleep. Please, she won't stop crying. She won't leave me alone." She was literally traumatized. The girl told police absolutely everything they needed to know, and officials set out to arrest everyone who was involved. The 3 men. Actually, they don't really deserve to be called that. The 3 criminals were all sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum before parole.
This one's the mob boss. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You gonna be insane, man. I'm not gonna cap, man. You going to the blue part of hell, bro. You're not even going to the part where motherfuckers like patty caking with you, man. Or you just got a motherfucking community service, bro. You going to the deepest, darkest pits of hell, where you put their entire fiery fist into your motherfucking butt. Since it's Halloween, you might as well go ahead and do those, bro. The most horrifying Halloween deaths. Be safe this Halloween and like those, bro. Because parents do say you be putting razor blades in candies. Now, I never seen it. I seen them put meth in candy. I seen them put heroin in candy. But I've never seen, bro, put razor blades in candies and like those, bro. So let's go ahead and see the most horrifying Halloween deaths that are totally not gonna make us not want to go out trick-or-treating or going out to Halloween events this year. Hershey's incident.
The Hershey's incident. On a Halloween night in 2011, a small home on Winchester Avenue in Chicago quickly became the...
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, GG's. Pre-guy.
of a nightmare. After trick-or-treating, a grown 55-year-old man fell into a fury with his partner after discovering that his bag of Hershey's candy was missing. He was convinced that the 49-year-old woman had taken it, and what started as a petty accusation quickly escalated into a heated argument.
Oh no.
The shouting grew louder and tempers boiled over. In desperation, and perhaps in an effort to also protect herself, the 49-year-old woman hurled a plate at the man's head, striking him in the face and cutting above his eye. The injury, later visible in the mugshot taken of him, only stoked his anger further. With dripping down his face, the man reached for a kitchen knife, and consumed by rage, he lashed out in a frenzy, striking the woman multiple times. Neighbors later recalled hearing chaos and screams echoing from inside the home.
But it's Halloween, so nobody's gonna really think nothing of people screaming.
Unsure as to whether or not the noises were Halloween decorations, police were eventually dispatched to the area. When officers arrived, they found the woman gravely injured. She was rushed to Cook County Hospital, where she lingered in critical condition for nearly a week. Despite doctors' efforts, her injuries proved fatal, and she later passed on November 5th. The man was arrested soon after.
Motherfuckers really ready to throw their whole life away over some candy. You gotta sit in the jail cell, bruh. Dead ass sit in the jail cell, bruh. A big black 6'9" man named Bubba gonna come into prison, bro. Talking about. And you gonna say that you in for candy related crimes? Dead serious?
And booked on felony charges. What had begun as a trivial Halloween quarrel between two adults ended in one of the most brutal of ways. Costume malfunction. On October 31st, at a thriving Halloween carnival, a 51-year-old man would step into the bustling streets dressed in a costume of burlap and straw, eager to join the thousands celebrating beneath pulsing lights and music. But in a sudden, tragic turn, the man's night of festivity shifted into pure trauma. The man joined the crowd in an energetic dance, and in the midst of the excitement, he wanted to take a break and light a cigarette. In his attempt, the flame from his lighter caught the edge of his costume's hood, and in an instant, outfit ignited. Due to its material, the costume was extremely easy to burn, but difficult to put out and take off. The man would try ripping the costume off of his body, but its contents had already begun melting into his skin. As for the crowd around him, they at first thought it was a prank or some sort of fire stunt woven into the Halloween event. It should be noted that most heavily...
On Halloween, everybody gonna think it's a part of the act or a part of the joke or a part of the Halloween, bro. God forbid something happened to you in public that day, bro, because everybody gonna be like, oh, no, he good, bro. Oh, that on fire, no, he good, bro. Oh, he just blew up into 1,000 pieces. It's a part of the show, though, bro. He just got motherfucking hit with a motherfucking bolt action sniper rifle to his motherfucking temple at close range. No, he's straight. He's fine. That's part of the show. Like, that must be unfortunate, bro.
Into the Halloween event. It should be noted that most of them were heavily intoxicated, so their
and they're drunk. Okay.
Rationality and judgment skills were extremely impaired at the time. As the blaze spread violently, it swallowed him whole like a torch. His figure staggered into the mass of dancers engulfed in fire with his arms flailing in a desperate panic. People continued cheering. Individuals were so impressed by the stunt that they had begun to record the screaming victim. Only when the man's screams got louder than the music at the carnival did a few sober witnesses realize what was going on. They rushed in to help and tried to rip off the burning pants and jacket that were now clinging to his skin. People took water bottles from their backpacks and emptied it onto the blaze, while others in the crowd continued chanting, snapping pictures, and dancing to what they perceived as a stunt.
Wow.
When the flames
that's
calmed,
actually like,
it was barely recognizable.
That's a scene out of hell, bro. You're burning alive, bro. You're just looking around you and everybody's like, yeah, and cheering and dancing. Bro, that is some scary. That's like the worst way to go out of all time, bro. Not only are you burning, which burning is one of the worst ways to go out in general, but you have people cheering at your death, bro. That's like some movie.
Finally calmed. He was barely recognizable. Despite being rushed to the hospital, the man ultimately passed away from his wounds.
Bro, that really sucked. The Hello Kitty incident. Viewer beware. I've never seen this go to purple, man. Is this new?
A 23-year-old mother in Hong Kong would continue navigating her life in an environment tainted by hardship. She was an orphan as a child, and as she grew up, she became addicted to abusing substances and other things. She worked at a nightclub in one of Hong Kong's red light districts, Tsim Sha Tsui, where a 34-year-old mob boss frequently visited her for services.
Oh, mob boss.
The gangster was known to be extremely dangerous as he had a horrible temper and would often do cruel and unusual things to people who wronged him.
Why does it say JJK spoiler? This forcing somebody to read a JJK spoiler and giving the pineapple pizza as punishment? Yeah, nah, this is horrible.
One day, after the two met with each other, the mobster would accidentally forget his wallet at the venue.
Pineapple
Upon
pizza's
seeing that
gas
it
though?
contained 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, the woman would secretly steal it to help her own financial situation for herself
Oh,
and
she
her
stole
son.
it, GG's.
The mob boss found out, and out of fear of what he'd do to her, she immediately returned the money back to him. However, he wasn't satisfied. He demanded that she pay an additional $10,000 back to him as an interest fee for her thievery. Obviously, she couldn't meet those requests. On a calm night, as the woman made her way into her apartment after her shift, she'd hear knocks at her door. It would be 3 members
She
of the
shouldn't have
Triad
even stole
gang,
this,
a
bro.
young girl who claimed that they
That
wanted
is the worst nigga to steal from. Yo, not, like, that's why this is purple, bro. They're about to do some crazy torturing, bro. Like, why would. Bro, if you gonna steal from them, bro, you might as well go all in, bro. You can't return that, bro.
It would be 3
You should
members
have just took the money, bro. Like, went to Sri Lanka or something. And just changed your name at that point, bro.
apartment after her shift, she'd hear knocks at her door. It would be 3 members of the Triad gang and a young girl who claimed that they wanted to settle the dispute with a more reasonable fee. Also, side note, the young girl seen here is actually the mob boss's girlfriend. Remember how I said he's 34? Well, she's 20 years younger than that. Just
This is sick, bro. This is sick, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, as soon as the woman opened up the door, they ripped her out of her apartment and drove her to a rundown flat on Granville Road in Kowloon. It was there that her final horrific month of torture began. Her captors beat her with pipes, suspended her in the air with wires, burned her with wax and plastic, and rubbed peppery spices into her wounds. Each day blurred into the next. It was a cycle of torment designed not only to punish her, but to strip away at her humanity. Neighbors heard nothing beyond the walls, but within them, suffering was routine. After nearly a month of agony, her body could no longer endure the mistreatment, and she would pass away from the monstrous acts of the gang. Upon realization, the mob boss had his men disposing of her remains in bags and pieces to clear themselves of any evidence. However, in a grotesque and cruel twist, the boss would have her skull boiled clean, polished and preserved, and then stitched into his girlfriend's Hello Kitty plush.
Yo, they dead like this guy get the brazen bull, bro. He gave the skull to the woman he just dismembered to his 14, allegedly, year-old girlfriend, bro. And you see this like Jack Skellington, this going to motherfucking hell, bro. This is fucking insane. This is a very sick individual, bro.
Actually, I don't really feel comfortable considering her his girlfriend. I mean, the man's quite literally old enough to be her father. But nonetheless, night after night, the young girl would be faced with the doll as she lived with the mob boss, and he kept it in the flat they were living in. She wouldn't be able to escape the sight of the toy, and as time went on, it began haunting her. She'd start seeing hallucinations and apparitions of the woman's ghost. The spirit would follow her every day, weeping dreadfully. It'd stand by the corner of her bed, staring at her every night, and if the girl ever fell asleep, it'd show up in her dreams as well, and turn them into nightmares. In her words, she said that it kept haunting her while demanding justice. It got so bad that the girl developed insomnia, and for weeks, she'd barely eat or sleep. Eventually, she broke. She ran to a nearby department and reported.
Did the mob boss get caught, bro? He didn't get this syringe of death.
Reports from the Kowloon police station say that she turned up at the building shaking violently. As mentioned from witnesses, rather than her saying that she has a crime she needs to confess, the first words that left her mouth were something around the lines of, "I keep seeing her. I can't sleep. Please, she won't stop crying. She won't leave me alone." She was literally traumatized. The girl told police absolutely everything they needed to know, and officials set out to arrest everyone who was involved. The 3 men. Actually, they don't really deserve to be called that. The 3 criminals were all sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum before parole.
This one's the mob boss? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You gonna be insane, man. I'm not gonna cap, man. You going to the blue part of hell, bro. That ain't going to the part of hell where you got blue flames on. I'm not gonna cap to you, bro. You're not even going to the part where motherfuckers like patty caking with you, man, or you just got a motherfucking do community service, bro. You're not even going in that part. Really, just motherfucking playing Nickelback and you pick up trash and shit. You going to the deepest, darkest pits of hell, where he put their entire fiery fist into your motherfucking butt.
The young girl was placed in protective custody, and after the trial, it was noted that she was seeing the ghost less. However, she'd still go on to experience nightmares and auditory hallucinations of the woman weeping. The last thing that was heard of her before she was relocated with an identity change was that she was being given psychological treatment and correctional therapy. These aren't just horror stories, they're real events. And they're all so wrong, in so many ways. Halloween is meant to be scary in a fun manner, not in a cruel and dangerous one. To ensure that happens, make sure to group up, stay close to your friends, drink responsibly, and always check your candy twice. Take care of yourself and keep your loved ones safe.
What was that
Without
clip?
further ado, have a happy Halloween.
I'll try, bro. After seeing shit like those, yo, be safe out here, bro, because there's some really, really freaky frogs out here, some freaky out here. I'm telling you, Chad, make sure y'all safe out here, bro. We're gonna go ahead and put this on the main channel, bro. This Halloween, make sure y'all don't get no motherfucking fucked up candy. Make sure that y'all end up in no situation. Don't beef with nobody over this candy, bro. You can get candy at the dollar store, bro. You know. But if you watch this on the main channel, Twitch Blueryai in the description. Come to the stream. We're streaming every single day for the month of October. So when you're watching this, we probably already streaming. But yeah, BBG. Alright. This video is called How It Feels to Die from Every Serial Killer.
John Wayne Gacy. Imagine that you're a 16-year-old runaway, homeless and desperate for work. A man in his 30s pulls up in his car and introduces himself as John. He's friendly, well-dressed, and owns his own construction business. He offers you a job, $10 an hour, cash, no questions asked. He says you can start tomorrow if you come to his house tonight to discuss details.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, people in the past chat were low-key cooked. Cause niggas was hitchhiking and shit like that, and niggas was just going to anybody's house for anything, bro.
You're desperate, exhausted, and hungry. You accept. His house is normal, suburban, and unremarkable. Inside, John offers you a beer and starts explaining the construction work. He's personable, jokes around, tells you about his community service work. Then he suggests showing you a magic trick. He pulls out a pair of handcuffs and asks if you can escape from them. It seems weird, but harmless. You let him put the handcuffs on your wrists behind your back. The click of the cuffs locking is the last normal sound you hear. John's entire demeanor changes in an instant. The friendly contractor vanishes. He forces you to the floor and ties your ankles. You're screaming, but there's no one to hear you. His neighbors are too far away, and he's soundproofed the room. He places a rope around your neck, tied in a specific knot. Then he starts twisting it with a stick like a tourniquet, slowly cutting off your air supply. You can't breathe, and this torture continues for hours. But then finally, he tightens it one last time and doesn't stop. Your last conscious thought is terror.
Why? See, I don't want to, I'm not trying to victim blame, right? But if you go to this random ass big dude house, and bro was like, first of all, I'm at your house, and you're creepy as hell, but bro's like, hey, you think you can get out of these handcuffs? Get the fuck away from me, bro. Why are you trying to do this freaky ass shit around me?
Your body will be buried in
By that point, I guess he's trying to make any type of, make any type of shit shake.
crawl space beneath his house, along with 28 others. John Wayne Gacy was arrested in December 1978 after the bodies of 4 late victims were found in the Des Plaines River. Police discovered 29 bodies buried beneath his house. Police discovered 29 bodies buried beneath his house. His trial began in 1980. He pleaded innocent by reason of insanity. However, the jury convicted him of all 33 and he received the death penalty. After all his appeals were denied, he was executed by lethal injection on May 10th, 1994. The Zodiac. You're sitting on a bench at Lake Berryessa in Napa County, California, enjoying a peaceful picnic with your girlfriend on a warm afternoon in 1969. The sun is shining, the water is calm, and you're completely relaxed. But suddenly, your girlfriend grabs your arm and points toward the trees. She tells you that she thinks she saw somebody watching you guys in the woods, and before you can even react, a 6-foot-tall, 250-pound psycho.
This nigga was 6 feet tall and 250 pounds. Bitch should have joined the NFL, my nigga. You in the wrong profession.
Approaches you out of nowhere. He's wearing nothing but dark clothes, sunglasses, and a straight-up executioner hoodie with a zodiac sign at the bottom of it. The hooded man draws a gun and slowly approaches you. Instinctively, you position yourself between him and your girlfriend. But to your absolute surprise, he starts to reason with you. He says that he's an escaped convict from Montana, and that all he needs is your car and money to get to Mexico. Even though you don't really have a choice, you tell him you'll cooperate. He orders both of you to lie face down on the ground. Then he tells your girlfriend to tie you up first. Afterward, he then ties her up in the same way. Without as much as even a second passing, the criminal tears her to shreds right in front of you with a 12-inch carving knife. You scream in horror as you try to break free from your restraints to save her, but your attempt to try to free yourself and charge at him quickly transforms into trying to escape him once you realize he turns his attention towards you. A plunges his weapon into your lower back, then your upper back, then above your ribs.
Wow.
And he doesn't stop. Eventually, as you lie on the ground gasping for air,
Bro, the sun's still out. They never caught this, right?
you watch as the man leaves a note on the side of your car. It'd have a zodiac sign on it with the dates of 3 recent deaths and the words, "By knife," written besides them.
Like, I hate, like, this motherfucker was over here, like, sending cryptids and hieroglyphics and aura farming and shit like that.
This is what happened to Brian Hartnell and his girlfriend Cecilia Ann Shepard. Luckily enough, Brian would survive the encounter, but his girlfriend sadly would pass. Brian would describe the criminal to police officers, but the Zodiac would never be caught, and he'd go on to claim anywhere from 5 to 37 more victims, leaving behind cryptic notes
I think
like
probably
this.
90 or
I
dead.
like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all. The Butcher.
I think I want to be motherfucking goddamn anime supervillain so bad. Man is the most disgusting creature. There is no one who deserves more pain than man. Like, nigga, you sound like a geek, bro. Who is this, bro?
Imagine you're a 4-year-old waiting at a rural train station in Rostov, Soviet Union in 1984.
Who do you say this
World
was?
weightless animal of all. The Butcher. Imagine you're a 4-year-old waiting at a rural train station in Rostov, Soviet Union in 1984.
Keep it by nobody.
A middle-aged man in glasses approaches you, soft-spoken and grandfatherly. He says he knows a shortcut through the woods to the next town and offers to show you the way. You're running late and he seems harmless, so you follow him. The forest path gets darker and colder, and you begin to feel uneasy when suddenly he grabs you from behind. His strength is pretty shocking for his mild appearance. Suddenly, throws you to the ground and starts slashing with a knife he pulled from his coat. The attack is nothing short of animalistic. The butcher stabs your hands, chest, mouth, skull, eyes,
Why the f would that nigga do this?
and face.
It's not funny, by the way.
But pain cuts your voice
Transition
short,
was cold,
leaving
though.
only faint, rattling breaths. The attack lasts only minutes, but feels like hours. As you're losing consciousness from blood loss, you see him doing something unspeakable with the knife to your body. Your last sensation is the indescribable horror of understanding what's happening, but being too weak to stop it.
Oh, fuck.
Andrei Zivotilo murdered at least 50 people between 1978 and 1990.
Wow.
He was eventually identified as the chief suspect of his heinous crimes and arrested. While in court, he was kept in a cage because of his erratic behavior. On one occasion, he pulled down his pants and masturbated in front of the court.
He gooned in court? Yeah, like those need to, I don't know, bro. They need Hell's Paradise type treatment. No funnies, bro. You can't have a like that. Not only can you not have a like that, like out in public, you can't have motherfuckers like that next to inmates. Very dangerous person.
He was
bro.
executed in a Moscow prison in 1994.
Moscow.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer, bro. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yo, y'all remember, who remembers when the Dahmer documentary or the Dahmer show came out? And then all the women on TikTok was over here like, ooh, Jeffrey Dahmer, like, I like him. Jeffrey Dahmer, ooh, Jeffrey Dahmer, he would have been nice. And they was all glazing Jeffrey Dahmer and shit like those, like the loony ass in the motherfucking 80s and 90s and shit. Like, but it was people on TikTok glazing him. And it's like, gang, he ain't like you anyway, bro. That like straight meat.
Now imagine you're at a bar in Milwaukee on a Saturday night when a blonde man in his late 20s approaches you. He's charming, good-looking, and well-spoken. He introduces himself as Jeff and offers to buy you a drink. He mentions he's a photographer and asks if you'd be interested in making some quick cash by posing for photos at his apartment.
What do you mean by that?
He He offers you $50. You're broke, and he seems harmless enough, so you agree. His apartment is at 924 North 25th Street. It's neat and surprisingly clean. He offers you another drink, a strong rum and coke.
Nigga said my name Jeff. My name's Jeff in 2026, bro.
You take a few sips, and within minutes, you start feeling dizzy and disoriented. Your vision blurs. You try to stand up, but your legs won't work. The room spins. Jeff is still talking, but his voice sounds distant and distorted. You collapse onto the couch. Then you wake up hours later. But something is wrong. You can't move your arms. You're handcuffed to something. Your head is pounding and your mouth tastes like chemicals. Jeff is standing over you now, and his demeanor has completely changed. The friendly photographer is gone. What remains is cold, empty, and calculated. He doesn't yell or threaten. He just tells you calmly what's going to happen. He's going to strangle you until you pass out. And then his freaky ass is going to take advantage of your unconscious body. If you wake up...
Jeffrey Dahmer, one of the freakiest of all time, though. Like, he needs to deadass, like... He's in the like lowest part of hell, bro. He was targeting gay black men, bro, and just literally killing them and then putting them in acid after the fact. Like, actually, like an actual weirdo, bro. He struggled with to understand his own sexuality, bro. Like, this was literally one of the like we talking serial killers, bro, is at least top 5 weirdest serial killers, bro. And there's who are cannibals, but Jeffrey Dahmer definitely a freak ass.
Up, he'll do it again, but eventually you'll stop waking up. Your last conscious thoughts are of panic and confusion as his hands wrap around your throat and the world goes dark for the final time.
He was eating niggas too?
In the same manner, Jeffrey Dahmer murdered 17 young men and boys between 1978 and 1991. He was arrested in July 1991 after one victim escaped. Harold Shipman. Imagine you're...
And then the nigga got packed up by a fellow inmate though, bro. I ain't gonna hold... They ain't put that part, but nigga... Bro did get packed up by a fellow inmate, bro.
1991 after one victim escaped. Harold Shipman. Imagine you're living your bonus years alone in Hyde, Greater Manchester. You've been feeling tired lately and short of breath. You call your family doctor, Dr. Harold Shipman.
Oh, mom's calling me.
Hey,
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? First of all, why you ain't got quarter zip on?
Because
we don't do hoodies no more, nigga. Get out that Nike Tech, you fuck.
Ain't no Nike Tech.
Yeah, man.
I got quarter zip on my nuts.
Huh?
Nothing. What were you calling about?
You say you put the hoodie on your nuts?
No. Regardless. What was? Huh?
Oh, hold on. But look. Anyway, I was just calling to see if you looked at my Discord DMs recently, bro.
Your Discord DMs?
Yeah,
no, I have not. You
Discord. I was asking for mod. You didn't give me mod.
What the? Wait, when did you send me something?
I sent you something a little while ago, bro. On January 1st. That's what it says, bro. Go look at that, man. I just wanted to know if you listened to this song before.
Miles, what the is this? Sugar on my tip backshot mix. What the is that?
You ain't never listened to that before?
I've never heard no sugar on my tip. What's that? I listened to it.
I'm saying that's tough.
That's you? That's you right there? That's you?
Yeah. That's I made a remix. Tyler got me on that, bro.
Tyler did not get you on that.
Nigga, it's right there. How the fuck you gonna tell me?
Bro, hold on, bro. Hold on. Cause I don't see. Hold on. Cause nigga ain't tell me about no sugar on your tip.
Oh,
You don't do that. Hold on. I don't see no sugar on my. Yo, this nigga lying, bro. I searched up. Nigga gotta be looking up sugar on my tip, bro. Now if I search up on Google, bro, it's gonna be straight penis on screen, bro. Nigga lying. Bro, it's cold. I had to turn the heat on. Ain't no sugar on my tip, my nigga. Nah, I just got that in my search history for no reason, bro. History fried. Let's continue, bro. Where are we at? We just started Harold Shipman. Nigga named Harold
Shipman. Imagine you're living your bonus years alone in Hyde, Greater Manchester. You've been feeling tired lately and short of breath. You call your family doctor, Dr. Harold Shipman, a respected general practitioner who's been practicing in the area for over 20 years. He makes house calls, which is rare these days, and he's always been so kind and attentive. He arrives at your home within an hour, black medical bag in hand. He takes your blood pressure, listens to your heart, and asks about your symptoms. He tells you it's likely just a circulation issue, nothing to worry about, but he'd like to give you an injection that will help. You trust him completely. He's your doctor. He prepares a syringe from his bag.
Oh, no.
You barely feel the needle go into your arm. Within seconds, a warm sensation spreads through your body. You feel relaxed, peaceful, almost euphoric. Dr. Shipman is asking you questions, but his voice is getting farther away. You're so tired suddenly. Your eyelids are impossibly heavy.
I told y'all the most dangerous, bro, like serial killers are the ones that are doctors, because you dead ass trust them. Like, why would you not trust your doctor, bro? That's tough.
You try to respond, but the words won't come. Your breathing slows, your vision narrows to a pinpoint of light, then disappears entirely. You die in your armchair, peacefully, never knowing your trusted doctor just murdered you with a lethal injection of diamorphine.
Wow.
Harold Shipman was convicted of murdering 15 patients in 2000,
15 patients,
but investigators
bro. What's wrong
believe
with this
he
nigga?
killed between 215 and 250 people over
Holy shit, this nigga putting out motherfucking goddamn one building of the Shibuya incident numbers.
his career. On January 13th, 2004, he hanged himself in his cell at Wakefield Prison.
Yeah, go riddance, bro. The Boogeyman!
In
Viewer
1870,
beware!
a man named Albert Fish suffered horrific as a child at an orphanage, where he was regularly beaten and
What's going on? What's happening?
and as a result, he exhibited troubling
Why is
behaviors
Diddy there?
that would escalate over the years of his life. Fish would lure children with promises of work, candy, or both. And in 1928, while pretending to be a wealthy man visiting a family's house to hire their son for work, Albert would convince the parents of a named Grace to let him take her to a birthday party. He didn't spontaneously do this, however. He was only able to take them after building trust and warmth with the family. And as you could guess, there was no party. He took her to an abandoned house, strangled her, dismembered her body, cooked her, and ate her. 6 years later, Albert would send the family a letter saying this: "On Sunday, June 3rd, 1928, I called on you and brought you pot cheese with strawberries. We had lunch. Then Grace sat in my lap and gave me a kiss on my cheek. It was at this point that I made up my mind to eat her." The rest of the letter is disgusting, repulsive.
It's like, how do even get like this, bro? Like, I understand be getting abused, but I'm sure there's a bunch of who got abused, bro, and never wanted to eat people. Like you can't put it all on the abuse game.
And detailed. After reading it, Grace's traumatized parents were able to use it as evidence for officials to track and capture Albert. And after he was arrested, medical examinations revealed that Albert had inserted over 29 needles into his pelvic region and groin area.
Yo, yeah, you gotta go to hell, boy. What the fuck? Hey, this shit crazy. What the hell?
X-rays showed them embedded deep in his body, many having been
Yeah, that nigga, I don't know, bro. That nigga, that's like, gang, that nigga might be top one freak.
in there for years.
He's sticking needles
He
in
had
his
hammered
own
them
dick,
into himself as punishment and as a twisted form of gratification.
and he
Sadly,
enjoyed it?
Grace's fate would be the same of over 100 to 400
Oh my
other
God.
children that Albert Fish did this to.
Yeah, he
was
this
later on
EDP, bro.
By the electric chair in 1936 at 65 years old. He wrote a final statement,
Wow.
but the only person who was able to ever read it was his lawyer, and he refused to release it to the public because he considered it the filthiest thing he had ever read in his life.
How do you like be a lawyer for somebody like that? That is like, bro, if Jeffrey Dahmer's in the last circle of hell, bro, this nigga has exceeded that, bro. This is in the core, the crust.
Majority of people in real life are actually pretty normal, but nonetheless, bad apples still do exist. So always make sure that you're not out at night too late without your friends or family, and also always let your loved ones know where you are at all times. Oh yeah, and most importantly, carry protection. Hit the gym, invest in some pepper spray, a taser, or if you're licensed and old enough, maybe some concealed carry. Anyways, have a happy day.
Damn, that was a good video from a talking hat. That was how it feels to die from every serial killer, bro. We're gonna go ahead and put those on the live channel as well. I don't know what the fuck going on with that, but if you're watching this on the live channel, Twitch Blueryai in the description. Yeah, alright, BBG. Okay, now the second video we're gonna watch from him is the most painful construction deaths. No, we have not watched this one either. So most painful construction deaths. Let's go ahead and see.
Watch your step. Across the United States are large industrial iron foundries that use molten iron to produce things like engine blocks, frames, and structural components for cars and buildings. At the Caterpillar Mapleton foundry in Illinois, molten iron is melted at nearly 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit, a heat hotter than lava and hot enough to obliterate human flesh in an instant. For the workers at this factory, the foundry floor is a place where one wrong step means certain doom, so it's of utmost importance that each crew member moves with caution 100% of the time. On June 2nd, a 39-year-old man would be working his 5th day at his new job. He was tasked with retrieving a
sample. By the way,
sample.
shout out to all the people who work construction. I could never do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of jobs that I feel like I could never do. Construction is one of them. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. Like, especially people working rain. If that is like 120 degrees, they working and shit. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. And even thinking about this like these places that we live, or the buildings that we live in, or roller coasters that we ride, like somebody had to build that shit, bro. I can't be somebody, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't be, man.
Of molten iron for testing. He spun down a giant metal wheel that caused the molten iron to pour out of the vat. Afterwards, he leaned over the boiling hot iron.
GG's.
He got close. Like really, really close. And then liquid molten iron popped and exploded all over his face. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
He successfully retrieved his sample of iron and returned back to his manager.
I'm about to say, bro, I had
Unluckily,
bacon oil
however,
incident.
he'd somehow slip on the stage and partially fall back into the molten vat of iron. He tried to escape, but it was impossible. Half of his body was in, half of it was out.
Well, that's even worse, man. That seemed like a better future for that to get popped by some molten iron than fall in a vat of that. Like, he's cooked now. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
And before you know it, in an instant, he was consumed by the roaring orange abyss. Witnesses described
Nigga, what can be
happened
worse
as
than this?
beyond comprehension. He passed away instantly, but not all of him was consumed. Part of his body remained on the steel deck for the coroner to retrieve. Emergency crews rushed in, but it was already way too late. The foundry quickly shut down, investigations were launched, and then questions arose. How could a man with so little training be placed so close to one of the most dangerous areas of the factory? It was literally his 5th day on the job.
His 5th day on the job is crazy, bro. Yo, and that... It's so unfortunate because, I'm really thinking about this video. I'm like, bro, what can be worse than this? That must have been such a terrible way to go out, just accidentally falling in lava, bro. Half of you, not the whole of you, just fell in that, bro. Like, what can be worse than that? I'm not... Yo, if there is a way to go out in this video, I'm not choosing that way, bro.
It was not the first time they'd seen such horror. Just a year earlier, another worker had passed away at the same plant after a similar fall. And now, yet again, a worker's life had been cut short in the most violent way imaginable. In factories like these, safety isn't just a guideline, it's survival. When molten metal waits beneath your feet, there's no second chance. One misstep and you're gone in an instant. The cable incident.
That's crazy. You get emo out.
It was just after noon at the Whitworth sawmill in East Texas. The air was thick with the grind of machines, the smell of fresh-cut pine, and the heat of men working hard to keep the mill alive. But inside, 4 men were locked in a struggle with a jammed wood chip machine. To free it, they turned to the heavy steel cable that wound its way around the gears. They pulled, adjusted, and worked the line, hoping to break the machine loose. And then, in an instant, disaster struck. After working the cable for what felt like forever, they had stretched it out to the point that it extended.
Yeah, somebody's ending up in that wood chipper, bro. Somebody's literally gonna turn into hot Cheetos, bro.
Itself like a bow and tightened back on one of the men. Upon pulling the cable and stretching it back out again to free the man, it finally snapped. The stored energy released with the speed of a bullet and the force of a guillotine. It whipped across the work area with deadly precision, striking all 5 men at once. The impact was catastrophic. 4 of the 5 were decapitated instantly.
Holy, bro. Yo, that's so bad, bro. That's so bad, bro. Instantly, bro, what happened to the last dude?
The 5th man got lucky. He was thrown away to the side, and the bones in his leg got shattered, but thankfully, his life was spared.
That's crazy that he's the luckiest out of all of them. Because everybody else just got they wig split, bro.
For the men who witnessed it, the scene was indescribable.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
One moment,
that's the type of shit they, like, in when I was in middle school and high school, mom just put on Live Leak and shit like that and show you randomly at lunch. Like, that shit is funny, bro.
Workers were fighting with some stupid jammed machine. The next second, the floor was silent, and each of their bodies stood upright in their same positions, with a crucial detail missing.
Wow, bro.
The ground was littered with helmets, sawdust, and bodies. When EMTs arrived at the scene, they were obviously only able to save the man with the injured leg. The sleeve incident. In a cavernous factory in Russia, cameras were quietly watching a scene that would later horrify the world. On the floor stood a massive horizontal lathe. The machine was giant, and its steel cylinder was rotating with an unstoppable force.
Like, anytime I look at these machines, bro, I can think about exactly how this goes wrong. I can think about exactly how this goes wrong, bro.
It was a machine built to carve through metal itself. A Russian man tasked with running the machinery froze upon seeing it. For a couple of moments, he would just squint deeply at the machine, closely inspecting it. His posture was casual, and then from casual, it grew curious. Although it's not entirely clear what it was, the man noticed something wrong with the machine, but after inspecting it, he went about his business. And then he came back because his curiosity got the best of him. Something was obviously wrong with the machine, so he went in for another look. It was then that he realized that he had been inspecting the wrong thing all along. His gaze shifted from the machine to the ceiling above it, and he was astonished with what he saw. He was right. There was a bit of a leak dripping down from the ceiling onto the machine. A sigh of relief came from the man as he became relieved that he had figured out the issue. As he began leaving to retrieve items to fix the leak, he'd quickly realize another, more concerning issue. His sleeve was stuck. And just like that, in a heartbeat, everything changed. The man was yanked into the spinning machine.
Bro, it's so, like, this is so bad, bro. This is so bad. Like, every incident is worse than the last one, bro. I'm still not doing the lava one, but like,
his body slammed between the cylinder and the base, whipping around with such force that he looked like a rag doll in the grip of a hurricane. The lathe spun faster and faster. First his shoes would fly off, then pieces of his flesh, then chunks, then his limbs. And before you knew it, he was turned into a mist. The camera captured it all. There was no time for rescue or hope of survival. Moments later, another worker in full protective gear entered from the side.
And it's crazy because I'm the other worker and I see it turn into a Happy Meal, bro. I'm quitting, bro. I know some of people don't have the luxury to just be like, oh shit, I can't work here, but I literally cannot work here, bro. And especially if I seen that, and that could easily be me, bro. I can't do it, bro. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I can't stay here no more. I can't sleep on the where I can't be here.
He froze at the sight he saw. Red trails, shredded remains, and a stained room. He lifted his hands in complete frustration, then dropped them in despair. The unfiltered camera footage spread across the internet, shocking millions before being digitally wiped away. Safety experts pointed out the obvious in this case.
That sounds
don't wear loose clothing around machines like these.
Yeah, bro. They always do say don't wear no loose.
Safe distance between them.
Yes, that's
the roller incident.
That must have been some sick shit, bro.
It was just after noon at a factory in the Saint Laurent borough of Montreal. The facility specialized in recycling plastic. Massive machines churned endlessly, crushing and shaping materials with unstoppable force. For workers, the rhythm of the rollers was just another part of the day. Clock in, crush and churn, go to sleep, repeat. Except for this day. On August 8th, 2016, at around 12:15 p.m., a 56-year-old employee noticed a piece of plastic jammed in the roller machine. Determined to keep the line and the rhythm of his job moving, he climbed up a ladder and reached in to pull it free. As you could guess, while trying to perform this extremely dangerous task, the rollers would pinch his finger.
Yo. It seemed like nothing good happened in these factories, bro. Have you ever seen the footages of like when be on the like little conveyor belts lifting up like a large box, and then it just hits one box and then all the boxes fall off the shelves, creating a chain reaction that caused the entire factory to collapse, bro?
He'd scream.
At least we're gonna get unemployment and shit like those if they still do that. I don't know.
Pain and try to yank it out, but in a split second, his hand was caught and effectively crushed. Unfortunately, that wouldn't even be the worst part.
Oh man.
The rollers dragged him in, pulling his body into the unforgiving gear-crushing machine. First his hand was sucked in, then his arm, then his head, and then his chest. His torso became wedged into the entry space of 12 centimeters before co-workers rushed to stop the machine. But by the time it halted, his body sat deeply jammed in between a space no bigger than a clenched fist. Insanely enough, however, he was actually pulled out of the machine alive.
I don't want to be alive after that. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Got me looking like Flat Stanley in this. Nah, bro. I'm cool. I really don't want to like. What the hell I just say? Who can relate? I can, bro. Dead ass serious, bro. Please don't let me survive that, bro. My head, arm, neck, everything got smushed and. Come on, man.
Despite his body being crushed and broken beyond repair, emergency responders rushed him to the hospital in critical condition.
Just finish it, bro.
But there really wasn't much doctors could do.
Bro.
The man was literally flattened, so sadly, he succumbed to his injuries shortly after. Behind every phone, car, or laptop you use, there is a person.
Shout out to all the factory and construction workers out there that never get thanked, bro.
A person who spends anywhere from 8 to 16 hours a day working tirelessly in a factory full of dangerous equipment to grant you these luxuries you have. Life is delicate and quick. It can be here 1 second and gone the next. So, no matter how small, always be grateful for the good you have. Don't take any of it for granted. Tell your parents, siblings, and friends you love them. And as usual,
hey, child,
have a happy day.
Bro. A talking hat video, bro. Y'all love all y'all, bro. Trust, bro. We are going to go ahead and put this on the live channel. If you are watching this on the live channel, Twitch, Blueryai, in the description. Come to the stream, bro. Come to the stream and shit like those, bro. But yeah, IBBG.
But in reality, it's like putting your hand on a burning stove, while snorting hot sauce, while eating poop, while stepping on Legos, while staring into the sun, while having air horns blasted in the nuts, while getting kicked in the nuts,
Holy shit, we get it!
While peeing your pants.
This video, I'm actually very interested to see this video. I'm not going online. This video is called "What Dying from Every Domain Expansion Feels Like" from a talking hat. Go, what the f? I'm not gonna lie, gang. I would kind of tank all these, to be honest, bro. The main expansion, the only one I probably wouldn't survive is Sukuna's one, bro.
The Shrine. You're fighting some pink-haired kid, and honestly, you're doing a pretty good job beating his ass because he's not really that strong. But right as you give him a heavy right hook that knocks him out cold, you notice something off. The kid's face develops black marks on it, and the once annoying and innocent expression he had transforms into something more sinister.
Oh shit.
His scrawny, whiny voice is also a lot deeper now. Like way deeper. You've developed such an off feeling about the situation that you start sweating like a madman. You snap out of your fearful delirium, and you prepare yourself to swing at the man again, to actually knock him out for good this time. And then that's when he does it. The man raises his arms and forms a hand sign, while speaking 2 words that'll forever seal your fate. Malevolent Shrine. Instantly, the world around you transforms. A massive, grotesque shrine erupts from the ground behind the man, and before you have time to process what you're seeing, you're already done for. Honestly, this domain is so—
I mean, how is this the easiest one to handle and shit like those, bro? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I know Gojo's one gotta be on here, but if a nigga hit you with this and you don't got like an anti-domain, you're dead. Like, it's bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, you're just like a dead bro.
A massive,
maybe it kills you instantly. I guess it does. Like,
grotesque shrine erupts from the ground behind the man, and before you have time to process what you're seeing, you're already done for. Honestly, this domain is so fast that we'll go ahead and slow time to see what happens to your body within just 1 second. Because what you're about to experience is 7 quadrillion cuts and slashes in your body per second. The first slash tears across, another hits your arm, then your leg, then your face. You were once standing, but now you feel shorter, and that's when you realize that your legs have flung off your body and are now floating blissfully in the air.
You said you feel shorter. Will you feel anything getting cut a gazillion times and like those, bro? Unless you got high endurance feats. Y'all remember when Crunchyroll fucked up the Maharaga fight and was calling Sukuna's domain Malevolent Kitchen and like those? So was calling the shit Malevolent Kitchen for that week and shit. That shit was crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
When you realize that your legs have flung off your body and are now floating blissfully in the air while being torn to shreds. Your arms follow them, then your hands, eyes, and teeth as well. The slashes keep coming, relentlessly cutting deeper into your body, splitting your skin and splintering your muscles. You can't run because the domain is open and 200 meters wide. You can't scream because by the time you even feel any pain, you'll already be gone. Now, if we were to play the Malevolent Shrine in real time, well, you'd just explode into a mist of red clouds before anybody even knew what was going on. In an instant, you and the city that was just around you are vaporized in mere seconds. But, on the bright side, at least Sukuna makes it quick. The sentence.
But a nigga like me, though, like me pull up and be like, stop! I'm here. Just my guy reflect that shit back at that, kill that nigga. That's just me, though. That's just my body and shit like that. Why y'all putting periods in the chat and shit like those? Cap. You gonna do handle it. Use my anti-domain technique, my and shit like those. And use my anti-Sukuna domain technique that I haven't used since the Heian era, man. I'm like, oh, who do you think you are? Yo, you lucky I'm not in these animes, bro. I would have handled this. They handled this shit, bro.
But, on the bright side...
The sentencing, I'm assuming this is the Higuruma. I'm assuming, bro. Which isn't the Higuruma episode like next episode and shit like those? Or no? But I assume this is the one that people who watch the anime wouldn't know about domain-wise.
The sentence. A gavel is pounded. And suddenly the battlefield transforms into a small courtroom. Guillotines loom in the background, debris scatters across the floor, and oddly enough, you're standing in what looks like a defendant's position. Your opponent stands across from you, now taking the role of a lawyer.
I might want to mute this video for like a minute if you had like, either if you don't care or then it doesn't matter, but you might want to mute the video for a minute if you like haven't read the manga.
That's actively prosecuting you for your crimes. You try to attack him, but your body won't move. Your fist stops midair and you're pulled back to the defendant position you were standing in. Violence is completely forbidden inside this domain, and you're forced to play by the court's rules whether you like it or not. A monstrous figure appears beside the lawyer. It's called the Judgment, a spirit that serves as both judge and executioner in the domain. It knows every crime you've committed, proven or not. The Judgment announces your charges in a booming voice. Maybe it's murder, maybe it's theft, or maybe it's something worse, like... like watching Jack Doherty.
Oh.
Stay silent.
Yo, Chad, would y'all be cooked by Judgment and like those, man? Yo, what are they gonna say? Blueryai, you gooned 575 times on Twitter within the past week. What that UG say? Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be honest. As long as you aren't found guilty, bro, you gonna be good, bro. You gonna be good, to be honest, bro.
Confess or...
Man, is it crazy that I'd rather get hit by Higuruma's domain than Sukuna's domain, man? I know he has the executioner's blade in like those. And I mean, if you are found guilty, you're like realistically, you dead ass are fucked. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm not gonna be found guilty.
Deny the charges. You're allowed to lie, but that doesn't mean it'll save you.
Hey man, look, we'll be perfectly fine. My lawyer will take care of it. Besides...
Yeah, this nigga being, yo, they getting this nigga the fuck out of here. They get no retrial needed for this nigga, bruh. If this nigga's in the domain, bruh, out of there, bruh.
We're all innocent.
Oh, shit.
We'll be perfectly fine, man. After my lawyer takes care of this, do you want to come to my island?
The lawyer makes his rebuttal as the prosecutor. He's given evidence in a sealed envelope that only he can see. Then he argues his case, pointing out contradictions in your story. He lays out facts you didn't even know he had, and then the judgment delivers the verdict. If you're found guilty of your crime, you'll be punished with confiscation, and your powers will be stripped away from you. But if your crime was really severe, then you'll be sentenced to the death penalty. When the judgment issues this, the lawyer's gavel transforms into the executioner's sword, a blade that ends you instantly with a single strike. The domain dispels, but the sword remains active. The lawyer doesn't need to trap you anymore. He just needs to land one clean hit.
Higuruma is so cold. I'm not gonna lie. He's such a cold character. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You try to run, but you're already weakened from confiscation.
Definitely one of the coolest.
You can't use any powers to enhance your speed or your super strength.
Just don't
so
get
you're
hit.
pretty much just a regular person now running away from a madman with a weapon.
You gonna run away from this?
That guarantees your demise. When your opponent finally catches you and pokes you with the sword, there's no pain or dramatic moments. You just pass away instantly. I guess it's just sort of embarrassing to have your crimes read aloud to you.
You think this is getting shot by a gun, bro? You're a regular human running away from the executioner's blade, bro. The Iron Mount. Which one is this?
The Iron Mount.
Oh, this Jogo. Alright, if you mute it, you're good. If you mute it, you're good.
Imagine that you're fighting with the GOAT of the series. Or, Jogo. Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna hold, bro. Jogo really pussy, nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, nigga, I'm not gonna cap it, gang. If Jogo, if I ever got caught in that domain, bro, it's gonna be somebody really pussy. I'm not gonna lie to you, though, bro. Jogo, yo, stop glazing that. I'm not gonna cap to you, though, bro. Stop glazing that, though, bro. Respect Joe Goat, bitch. Nigga, where he at? Chat, where he at in the story, nigga? So if you fight the top 2 in the verse, you pussy. Let's be honest, bro. Did Jogo get hold because he fought the top 2 in the verse? Yes, realistically. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. Jogo is a Utah victim. Unfortunately, man. I'm not gonna hold, man. So if Jogo is a Yuki victim, Jogo is a Ghetto victim, Jogo is a Kenjaku victim, Gojo, I mean, I think Gojo, Jogo's a lot of niggas victims. I'm not, a couple of niggas up Jogo. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. Most motherfuckers are.
I mean, Jogo. Yeah. Imagine you're fighting Jogo, an evil spirit that looks like a volcano. SpongeBob, Squidward, and Plankton all mixed into one short, hideous midget. He activates his domain, and the world around you transforms into the heart of an active volcano. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet becomes stone. Rivers of molten lava flow through deep fissures in the floor, and the walls become jagged rocks, glowing red from the intense heat. Temperatures inside of an active volcano range from 1,300 to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Generally speaking, our clothes and flesh can instantly ignite at about 400 to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is simply from just...
Realistically, yeah, I'm handling that. I'm not gonna catch you. That's gonna be easy for me. I'm not gonna catch you, bro. You said that I'm chatting, but what did I say wrong? Who did I list out that Jogo's beating, bro? Maybe Ghetto, bro. Maybe like oh, not Kenjaku. Like maybe Ghetto, bro. It's like Yuki's beating the out Jogo. What the? What? What are you talking about? Yuki's actually beating the fuck out. Yo, well, let me not say too much, but bro, Yuki's actually beating the fuck out Jogo. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. What the fuck? Yuki murderers Jogo. Ghetto's the only one I'll give y'all and like those to where y'all can say cap. But everybody else that I listed is beating the fuck out that. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro.
You still have to fight your opponent. He can command the magma in the surrounding area to strike you with pinpoint accuracy. If you somehow weren't already on fire before, then you definitely will be the moment the lava makes contact with your body. Unfortunately, you won't pass away immediately. The heat and magma don't stop your heart in one clean strike. Instead, you burn slowly, your body breaking down piece by piece as the lava consumes you. Burning alive is already scientifically ruled as one of the most painful ways to go out. As your skin ignites, it'll melt right off of your bones instantly, bubbling and dripping like wax from a candle. Your clothes disintegrate, your hair catches fire, and yeah, you get the point. You collapse to the ground with your body charred beyond recognition. The entire process takes maybe 10 to 15 seconds, but to you, it feels like an eternity. The strongest.
The strongest. Like, we already went through the strongest. I ain't gonna lie. You know, it's crazy. I've never really thought about who's my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character. I don't know if I got a favorite. I just like the I like I really like Yuta. I know niggas be like having that online discourse about Yuta like that, but Yuta's actually fire. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro.
This here in my hand is a flashbang. Now, if I were to release its lever and throw it at you, you would have just experienced a brief moment of sensory overload. Although we're used to the idea that we just have 5, as humans, we actually have anywhere from 22 to 33 senses. And sensory overload is when your body's senses take in more information than your brain can process. Kinda like if you were to eat more food than you could chew, or if I were to attempt to carry your mother up a staircase. It's simply too impossible of a task to accomplish. And now, when I remove my blindfold and use this domain on you, it'll be what you experience non-stop for the rest of your life until you pass away. Physiologically speaking, your brain will be fried from receiving an infinite amount of information. But in reality, it's like putting your hand on a burning stove, while snorting hot sauce, while eating poop, while stepping on Legos, while staring into the sun, while having air horns blasted in the nuts, while being getting kicked in the nuts, while
holy shit, we get it!
While peeing your pants, while accidentally biting your tongue, while eating ice cream, while lagging in Warzone, getting in a car crash, while walking in soaking wet socks, while stargazing, while getting your head smashed open, while petting a puppy, while, well, you get the
said you survived this because you don't got a brain. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. No, I'm not taking these. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not taking these, bro. You know one? It seemed like this might be the last domain on here. But the one with the smallpox one, I don't know if he's going to talk about that one. I feel like that one's low-key underrated. I feel like a lot of is like dying to the smallpox deity one. I'm not going to cap.
Every sense you have, every thought, every detail, every action you've ever taken, every word you've ever spoken, all of it floods into your mind at once and breaks your brain. You can't move your body. Your muscles are frozen. Your limbs won't obey. You can't even blink. You try to think, but your thoughts loop endlessly. You remember waking up this morning, then eating breakfast, then listening to a handsome hat talk to you about domain expansions, and then it loops back to waking up again. Over and over and over. Forever. That's the terrifying part. Unlimited void doesn't end you immediately. You're still alive, but your mind is done for. You're trapped in an infinite loop of perception. Gojo describes this as forcing one's actions upon them infinitely. You're stuck reliving every thought and action you've ever had, over and over, with no way to break free. Time stretches endlessly. What feels like years to you is only a few seconds in reality. Eventually, your body begins shutting down from the strain, since your brain obviously can't handle the overload anymore. If somebody doesn't mercy kill you, you'll die of starvation or dehydration, still trapped in the infinite loop. But, luckily enough, none of this is real, so you can carry on with your life. You're safe from me this time. I've been enjoying Season 3 a lot, so I'm sorry.
Season 3 has been fire. This is I really like this video, bro. To be honest, every domain is like very dangerous. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like if a nigga has a domain, bro, it's probably dangerous. Is it crazy? I don't know if this is a hot take, but like if you are a innocent nigga who didn't do, like if you're a regular human being, right? Then Higurumas is probably like the safest to get hit with. I'm gonna be honest though, bro. If you are a regular human being, I think Higurumas is the safest to get hit with.
Just had to make a video on it. Anyways, have a happy day.
Unless he starts saying that, like I said earlier, you were gooning and then that's a crime. I mean, then most of us dead, but you know. We're gonna go ahead and put those on the main channel. If you're watching this on the main channel, Twitch Blueryai in the description. Come to the motherfucking stream though, bro. Cut to the motherfucking stream though, bro. But yeah, I BBG. This video is called Serial Killers Who Accidentally Chose Their Worst Target. So I'm assuming this means that like serial killers, like low-key, like you picked like, and I don't know who's a strong, you picked Omni-Man to try to hit a lick on or some shit like those. I'm assuming.
The cheetah incident.
Cheetah.
In 1993, at a club in California, a demon prowled the venue. Unbeknownst to many, the Grim Sleeper, a man who'd ended the lives of 10 women, was searching for his next victim while everybody else was drinking and having fun. He noticed an African-American girl that seemed annoyed and upset, so he walked over to her to figure out what was wrong. The lady told him that she was invited out to play dominoes, but everybody there kept offering her drinks and telling her to club when she wasn't a drinker. It was extremely late, and she was tired and wanted to go home, so the Grim Sleeper pointed to his vehicle outside. He told her that he has a car, and if she really wanted to go home that badly, he could just take her. Delighted, the woman sprung out of her seat.
Freaky, bro, because you know he's not a regular dude, though, bro. Oh, yeah, you can come home with me, bro.
He followed the dangerous criminal back to his car. She got in first, and he shut her door like a gentleman. Then he got into the driver's seat and began taking her to her house. After a while, she told him to make a right turn to her house, but he ignored her. Confused, she repeated herself. You're supposed to make a right over there, not a left. Realizing the criminal was no longer responding, the lady quickly went to open the door to get out of the car, but it was then that she finally realized that the door didn't have a handle on the inside.
The door didn't have a handle? Freaky! Premeditated, bro.
He was literally trapped in the car. Becoming filled with joy, the monster finally revealed his intentions to the woman. And as you could probably guess, they were horrible and evil. But there was only one problem with his plan. The woman he was talking to wasn't any ordinary person.
Who was she?
The Grim Sleeper had accidentally trapped himself inside a car with the cheetah.
Oh, the capoeira fighter, my name. Frida Gibbs. Dude, that's Mike Tyson daughter, bro. Oh, yeah, GG's, bro.
Also known as the most dangerous woman in the world.
She's the most dangerous woman in the world? Oh yeah, it's actually over, bro.
A title that would be given to her just 1 year later, as she'd go on to win the 1994 kickboxing championship. When she was young, she was ruthlessly bullied and chased around the town.
Wow.
Her uncle was a martial arts master, and unknown to the Grim Sleeper, her uncle forced her to fight him every single day in order to get her black belt.
What the kind of anime mentor sensei is this? He forced her to fight her. He forced the girl to fight him every single day, bro, until she got it.
At the end of the day, Whenever she finished
Anime had
practicing with her
backstory?
colleagues and got ready to leave...
No, this is
her-
some anime, bro. With a try to like rob an anime character or try to like fight him or kill him, and then you find out that he really him or her in this scenario.
uncle, also known as Master Quiet, she finished practicing with her colleagues and got ready to leave. Her uncle, also known as Master Quiet Storm, would lock the door with a key. And if she
Master
wanted to
Quiet
exit the dojo,
Storm.
she'd have to beat him in combat and
Wow.
forcefully pry the keys out of his hands. She did this every single day as a kid. As the criminal asked her to comply with his sick demands, she told him no. As you could guess, this angered the psychopath, so he swung at her with his full might.
His animation
But
getting better.
immediately she blocked his punch and spun back with a devastating counterpunch, striking him straight in his face.
That must have been. He punched and she thought he was gonna get her. When he grabbed that, she was like, Yo, I wish I could. There was a video of him getting beat up, bro. I can't lie to you, bro. Aura.
His punch and spun back with a devastating counterpunch, striking him straight in his face. Oh,
Got hit with a
so
black
you're
flash.
a fighting type, he said as he smiled. The woman quickly jumped into the back seat of the van and he followed after her, which would go on to prove to be his worst mistake.
Oh shit.
Once he was trapped in the trunk of the van with the professional champion kickboxer, she unleashed a hellish attack on him. He tried to
Holy
tackle her,
impact
but she
range.
grabbed his shirt and swung him around in the trunk of the van,
Yo.
smashing his head against the inside of the vehicle.
Yo.
She then flipped his shirt over his head while unloading a flurry of non-stop punches to his
Holy!
fall backwards on his butt. At this point, the girl noticed that his pants were unbuckled and falling down, so while they were still in the trunk, she stomped on his chest and grabbed his, and pulled them so high that she thought she ripped them off of him. The Grim Sleeper.
She can be Conquest, bro. She can be Conquest. All of her talking about some. I fought Conquest. No, she fought Conquest, bro. Holy shit, boy, what the?
Shrieked like a banshee and began crying out in pain. He quickly gave her the keys to unlock the van and escape. But before she left, while still pulling his royal jewels, she told him, "When I say no, it means no," before delivering a nasty right hook to the crying man, nearly knocking him out. She took the keys, unlocked the trunk of the van, and quickly escaped while throwing the keys away so that he couldn't follow her.
Wow.
Fredia Gibbs would go on to win her first championship after that year,
Wow.
officially titling her as the most dangerous woman alive.
Wow. What happened to
And
the
years
man?
later, the Grim Sleeper would later be
Oh,
caught and
shit.
arrested in 2010 because of an eaten pizza crust he left at a crime scene.
He's so sick, bro. He probably never committed another crime after that day, bro. Cause holy shit, bro. That he's an actual bum, bro. He got diffed.
When a says no, she means no. And I walked in, bam! Then I left.
The Night
Yeah, bro. I really would. I really would for her though. He should have seen over how she looks, bro. Not to do those, bro.
Stalker. In the summer of 1985, the city of Los Angeles became gripped by fear.
Is the audio in the video
Night
good,
after
chat?
night, a mysterious intruder slipped silently into homes across Southern California. He struck in darkness, often entering through unlocked doors or open windows while families slept, and he did the absolute unthinkable to his targets.
What do
If
you
there
do?
was a man in the house he broke into, he would immediately just end them, then he would attack and assault the man's family, often
wow.
carving evil imagery into women and anybody else in the house, and then he would stab them until they perished. Victims described him as a thin, satanic man that had wild eyes and reeked
Nah,
of
somebody gotta
sweat
take
and
him out, bro.
cigarettes. Police
You gotta
didn't know
take
his name yet,
nigga like
but
that, bro, can't go to jail. You gotta somebody actually gotta put a bounty on their head, bro.
the media soon gave him one, the Night Stalker. This individual had 15 victims tied to his name,
15,
and he
bro.
by all means was a top priority to officers in the nearby counties. On August 31st, 1985, he casually strolled into a nearby convenience store to pick up a beverage because he was thirsty. And right next to the drink he was grabbing, he noticed a rack of newspapers that all had a wanted poster of his face on it. He immediately panicked and darted out of the doors looking for an individual to target and carjack so that
What the f? Found out he was wanted. It's like, oh shit, I gotta commit a crime. Hey, who can I rob? I have to do it. It's too late. I gotta do it. Bro was like, who can I rob, bro? As soon as he got caught. Isn't it crazy that you could have walked past a killer or like a notorious criminal and shit like those in your life and not even know it, bro?
the criminal jumped into the car of a 28-year-old woman named Angelina. Without wasting a second, he began to punch her in the stomach and forcefully steal her car from her.
Wow.
What the Night Stalker failed to notice is that her neighbor was nearby watching it happen, and he also had huge balls. As the neighbor ran over to help Angelina, the Night Stalker told him to stay back and warned him that he had a gun. the
That ain't no
50-year-old neighbor
gun, bro.
called his bluff and ripped the scumbag right out of the car. And it was at this point that this man had realized that he'd chosen the absolute worst neighborhood to do a carjacking in, because he instantly found himself surrounded by a huge, angry...
You said, does it ever make you feel weird that you met David once? Hell yeah, bro. The fact that they said that he killed the girl in April, bro. So I be thinking about that, bro. I was like, bro, at the time that I had met him, according to what the prosecutors are saying, he had already done that. You know, at that point, it's like those, bro. And one thing that I never told y'all, and I guess I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about it right now, but one thing I never told y'all, when I met him at Anime Expo and shit like those, he was doing something that I never seen. I don't hang around that many, like, popular people or meet, like, artists like that to be like that, but he was looking at his mentions on TikTok, like, a lot. Like, when I was with him, he always looked at his mentions on TikTok. He would always look at who's mentioning him on TikTok and who's mentioning him. I don't check my mentions that much. On TikTok particularly, I don't know about everything else, but I always like kind of look over, and I don't want to be in niggas' phones and shit like those, but he would always look at his mentions on TikTok. And at the time, I was like, damn, like, it's crazy that, like, artists who are that big care about what other people have to say too. Like, they care about, like, who's mentioning them and everything like that too. I thought that was a thing that, you know, like, you know, influencers or something like that, those do, or whatever the case may be. Now looking back on it and shit like that, and this is just a theory. Like, I don't know, obviously, but now looking back on it, I think that he might have been scared that somebody at some point would have called him out or mentioned that he was on that type of timing. Either that he was on EDP type timing, or that he killed that girl. I think he lived the rest of his life in fear. Like, he was consistently living his life in fear, and that's why he was always checking his mentions to see. At least this is what I think. I don't know, right? But I think that's why he was checking his mentions so much. I think that he had a guilty conscience or whatever.
Because he instantly found himself surrounded by a huge, angry mob. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who he was. They knew all of his crimes. And worst of all, they weren't police officers. So their idea of justice wasn't jail.
They're gonna be that. Oh!
People beat him viciously. Angelina's husband ripped a steel rod out of a metal fence and began smashing his head with it, while another neighbor attacked him with a makeshift spear made out of barbecue equipment. Multiple people grabbed and tugged at him from different directions, beating him senselessly with anything they could find.
Can't say that don't
They beat
deserve
him
it.
so bad
He
that
killed 15 people, bro. Like, it's your day gonna come, bro.
when police showed up, he began crying out, "I did it! It's me!" begging them to arrest him. Reports state that once he was arrested, he began speaking Spanish to himself, saying, "Thank goodness the police came and arrested me. I'm so lucky."
Said, "Thank God the police arrested me, because they was gonna kill that boy, bro. They was going to take him out, bro."
When he was taken to the police station, a crowd of 500 people surrounded the building chanting, "Kill him," in unison. He would go
Kill
on
that
to receive
boy!
19 death sentences. However, passed away from cancer at 53 years old in 2013.
Bruh.
Honestly, if I was the cop tasked with arresting him that day, I probably would have just driven around in circles and pretended like I couldn't find him,
Low-key,
so
bruh.
that he could spend some more time with the crowd of victims he had been terrorizing for the past year.
Yeah, low key, bro. Like, the cops, bro. Cops be, I get it, bro. I get it, and you want to build a case and find out why or whatever. But sometimes, bro, just act like you ain't see it, bro. For at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes not gonna kill you, bro. 5 minutes not gonna kill you, though, bro.
The crash out incident. While most either don't know or just don't believe it, this man is a serial killer.
Polly said he watching me. Every day he clocking me. Red alert. Oh, is this about to talk about Vaughn?
Allegedly. He grew up in the Parkway.
Oh, this gonna talk about Vaughn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Vaughn died, bro, the way Vaughn died, bro, was very crazy, bro. Like, he did fight the wrong, bro. He did fight the wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember when that shit happened too, but let's let him tell the story now.
This man is a serial
He wouldn't hurt
killer.
a fly?
Allegedly. He grew up in the Parkway Gardens, an area that would later on become named O Block, which is named after his close friend and mentor, OD, when he was moved.
Hair grow a little bit.
Later, Pontoon,
I think it does.
another one of his friends, would pass away in the same way. And, I should probably mention that his father was also murdered when he was 11, but he still had a brother-like figure that he kept around as a close friend. White. Except, not really, because in 2012, White would pass away on Vaughn's 18th birthday.
Being like I'm not gonna lie, surviving in Chicago, especially during this time, must have been like extra difficulty, bro. It must have been like very hard difficulty, especially if you was in the streets. If you wasn't in the streets as much, then your likelihood of dying probably go up a little. I mean, of surviving goes up and like those. But like this shit is just like I can only like half these like peoples be dead, half the ops be dead. It's like these. It's all the Chicago graveyard is crazy, bro.
Because in 2012. White would pass away on Von's 18th birthday, right in front of him at a gas station. It's important to note that it was this specific traumatic incident that caused him to become a serial killer, as after this moment, he would later on be connected to over 10 or 11 murders throughout his life.
Y'all remember that documentary that came out about King Von? How long was that? That shit was some hours, gang. They had an hour. I never watched that documentary listing out all the people that he allegedly killed, bro. It's 3 hours.
Whilst also
3 hour documentary on that, bro. 3 hours, bro. Got a documentary. That MJ movie wasn't as long as that, bro. How? I watched it. It was peak.
For taking deep and be connected to over 10 or 11 murders throughout his life, whilst also taking deep, nearly sociopathic pleasure in the lives he ended and putting it into his songs. Allegedly, of course. Nonetheless, he really did what he rapped about in his music, which is what caused him to develop contempt for another popular up-and-coming artist in his industry.
NBA Youngboy.
Youngboy. Von took a lot of pride in the crimes he committed, especially since it was what eventually made him become popular and successful. Youngboy, in a lot of ways, is similar to Von, but Von didn't believe that he actually did any of the things he rapped about. So for him to see another artist getting more virality than him, when he believed he was a fraud, quietly upset him. And so, completely unprovoked, he'd go on to publicly say that Youngboy lies in his music online.
And really looking back at how this shit ended, like, a lot of these beats be so stupid, bro. Because what the fuck you mean you don't think I'm living what I rap about? Like, even if I, like, but this is street logic. Even if I don't live what I rap about, and like, why are you going online, like, trying to beef, though? Like, but again, street codes, niggas think that it's something to beef about, or if you're not living it, then you're disrespecting the niggas who are, and like those, bro. Lil Jeff killed 11 people. Did he actually do that?
Fine.
Allegedly.
You got cap in your raps.
You got cap in your raps. This would start a pretty petty back and forth between the two young men. Von would begin flirting with the mother of Youngboy's kids. Youngboy would flirt with Von's ex, then they sent disses at each other, and blah blah blah. You get the gist. Despite the clear animosity between the two individuals, Von would go on to say that there was no bad blood between him and Youngboy at all, which would later on prove to be obviously untrue.
People just say, niggas just say that so
he would get up,
police don't
hop into his bulletproof Hellcat, and head out to a club to perform his show along with 8 other cars that were guarding and following him. At the club, despite everything seeming normal and fun at first, people close to Davon noticed that he seemed off. The man frequently mentioned paranoia and feeling like the spirits of the lives he ended were always watching him.
I mean, I don't blame this. If what they said was true and he allegedly was a serial killer and shit like those, bro, this was probably consistently paranoid, bro. Always paranoid everywhere, bro. Perk time.
Many people said and feeling like the spirits of the lives he ended were always watching him. Many people said he could switch from being calm, collected, and silly to seeming very off or sociopathic. A lot of people generally started to believe that he might have had a literal demon living inside of him, or something seriously wrong with his head. And it was noted that he was allegedly given inside
Vaughn and Sakuna and
information that one of Youngboy's friends was at a nearby club that was extremely close to him. This friend's name is Quando Rondo.
Oh no, Quando
After he finished performing at his show, he and his entourage got up,
allegedly,
went inside of their cars, and headed back home to call it a day. However, suddenly the security guards noticed that Von's car had gone missing. He made a detour to the club that Quando Rondo was at, and waited patiently. His entourage later on showed up and found Von. After regrouping with him, they put all of their weapons away inside of the car.
It's on camera,
and got
that
ready
alleged.
to head inside of the club. But it was at this moment that one of Von's associates located the person he was looking for. As Quando Rondo was leaving the club, Von bumped into him head on and began to beat him ruthlessly. The man was terrified, later stating that he didn't even know who was fighting him, but once he realized it was Von,
and he was beating that nigga ass, bro. So that's all it was Vaughn and shit like those. Y'all gotta understand this nigga Quando Rondo seeing Vaughn standing over here and beating his ass. Niggas, what is Sakuna doing in Shibuya? Niggas got a dead ass Viltrumite in front of him beating his ass. Terrified, bro.
It felt like the devil or a demon was attacking him.
It's like I had an out-of-body experience. Like, it's like the
Let's not
devil
talk
was
like this.
coming to get me. Like, it's like my soul. Like, I can't even explain.
Like,
it,
even the
man.
streets, even these streets talk about this Vaughn like he's some kind of like calamity, bro.
And the man who was
They said, you're rich and you're robbing people. How are you rich? Yo, where's that? So who has that video, bro, of talking about Vaughn and like those, bro? Talking about he threw something on the grill. Who has that video, bro? Somebody pin
likely
that.
Can't even explain it, man.
Vaughn was doing what he loved, and the man he was attacking was likely going to become another victim that he'd rap about in his songs. But there was just one slight mistake he made. He assumed that his target was alone, and was so laser focused on attacking his target that he failed to realize that just 2 feet away, a random white car was full of Quando's crew, all of whom were armed. And when they saw their friend being attacked by Vaughn, they didn't hesitate to shoot him 4 times. Even after getting injured, Vaughn continued wrestling and attacking Quando, and the two were eventually broken up by their crews. Undercover police officers ran to the scene and began calling back.
I remember this
The
day,
man
bro.
had 4 holes in his body, and blood was leaking everywhere inside of the car, panicking his team and friends. Nonetheless, he was still alive and conscious. He'd even go on to tell his friends to calm down because he was fine. While he was successfully delivered to the hospital, during surgery he'd suddenly shoot up awake in cold sweats. He'd throw the nurses and medical staff who were operating on his body off.
Oh, I didn't even know this part. This was crazy. Yo, this was getting help from getting shot. It was like the fuck away from me, punching the nurses and shit like those, right? I never, yo, what? Go, this punching the that are helping him, bro. He was possessed. Satan tried to save himself. This nigga really Sakuna. Holy shit, bro. Holy shit. Right
While he was
here about it.
successfully
Does not even talk about Griffin.
Tell his friends to calm down because
Yo.
he was fine. While he was successfully
He said, where is Omni? He said, where is Omni, man? Nigga moving like a mortal, bro.
During surgery, he'd suddenly shoot up awake in cold sweats. He'd throw the nurses and medical staff who were operating on his body off of him and then began swinging at them.
And Vaughn made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries ago. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said, where his gun at?
In a state of complete
Nah,
shock and
bro.
panic, he began searching for his gun on the surgery table, but then froze. And suddenly, as he woke up, he collapsed from shock.
Like, bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. This was a super crash out. Bro was more focused on getting revenge after getting shot 4 times and going through 2 surgeries, and so focused on going through revenge on surviving. He would have lived, bro. If he just sat still and went through the 3rd surgery, he would have just lived, bro. He would have lived and he would still be here and shit like those, bro. I wish he lived. Do you? Do you, my nigga?
Table, but then in a state of complete shock and panic.
And he was under anesthesia. How did it wake up though? I'm telling you, like the demon allegations. I don't know, bro. They might have been on to something, bro. King Ball versus Chief Keef would have shook the fabric of the universe. Like, you see how just talking about something wrong with him, bro? That's not normal.
Fighting the nurse and said, where his gun at?
In a state of complete shock and panic, he began searching for his gun on the surgery table, but then froze. And suddenly, as he woke up, he collapsed from shock, marking his end. To think this situation all stemmed from about 5 or 6 words is insane. He's got pretty good music, though.
Yeah, his music, Vaughn's music is fire. Like, Vaughn, I don't think Vaughn has a lot of bad songs at all. Vaughn was going crazy, man. I was really, like, shocked when Vaughn died. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't know that he could have lived. He could have lived. Things that war-related gang. Move on, bro. His niggas, just because he said, yo, there's cap in your rap. And to be honest, bro, if he just didn't fight the and just let it go, bro, and shit, or just had somebody else fight it, have one of the other fight him, bro. You got a lot of street run. You have one of them other fight him. If he just had somebody else do it, he would have just lived, bro.
The spoon incident. A newbie walked into the prison earlier that week, and seeing that he was fresh meat, an atrocious criminal named William Roberts decided it was time to assert some dominance over him, since he seemed like the perfect target. It's unclear exactly what sick intentions William had in mind for the man when he approached him, but what is known is that when the two interacted, the monster began to boast and brag about the most heinous crimes he had committed in an attempt to put fear into the heart of the man and make him yield to his requests. He walked up to the man's seat where he was eating, then he set down his food tray and began eating beside him. "What are you in prison for?" he said. "Because I'll let you know that I'm practically allowed to do anything I want. I'm in prison for having my way with a 4-year-old. And look."
Avocados from Mexico.
"I'm still here. So what about you? Are you here for car theft, insurance fraud, reckless driving?"
That's what you really say? Bro, if you're in prison, you're like, yeah, I'm here because I did this to a JIT gang. They're going to beat your ass. How would you even say that?
After sitting and listening to William's monologue, the man calmly responded to his questions. "I'm a serial killer. I'm in here because I ended a man that was bragging to me about the horrible things he had done to multiple kids.
Oh,
I strangled him so hard that emergency responders said his face became blue like a pair of jeans, because I hate predators. They thought I was crazy, so they sent me to a mental hospital, where I bumped into another person who did the same
So the is a predator killer and ran into a predator in prison, GG's.
horrible thing to kids. And so I ended him too. And now, they've sent me to this prison, and just like deja vu, I have another predator telling me the same thing. I just ended the life of
that is harvesting his ass, bro.
I hid his body under my bed, and I hoped I wouldn't need to do the same thing to another person for a while, but I guess I was wrong. William Roberts just happened to choose the absolute worst person to brag to about his crimes.
Why would you brag
He was
about
talking
that,
to Robert
bro?
Maudsley, a serial killer specifically known for only targeting predators. And in the blink of an eye, Maudsley grabbed the spoon off of his food tray and jammed it into William's face.
To be honest, hey, good riddance. I'm not gonna lie, especially you was flexing that. You was taking pride in the fact that you did that. You don't even feel bad, bro. That's tough, man. I cannot lie to you, bro. That literally said that to the wrong, bro. Holy shit.
And in the blink of an eye, Maudsley grabbed the spoon off of his food tray and jammed it into William's face. He screamed horrifically, but Maudsley didn't stop there. He ruthlessly beat and continued to carve away at the man's
He don't
face
give a
with
bro. He gonna be in there
stabbed
for
him
life. He
over
don't
and
give a
over
fuck.
again, and somehow nobody in the prison noticed what was happening at all. William screamed and pleaded for help until he couldn't anymore. After Maudsley was finished, he calmly walked over to a prison guard and told them that 2 prisoners would be missing from the roll call today. Extremely concerned with that ominous statement, the guards ran into Maudsley's prison cell and found the body of William and another prisoner.
Wow.
William's face was unrecognizable, but most horrifyingly of all, his brains were carved out of his skull with a spoon sticking out of it. The prison guards immediately believed that Maudsley must have cannibalized the man's brains, but he calmly denied the accusation and said something around the lines of, "No, I wouldn't do that, nor would I lie about it." The man would later on be placed inside of a glass box where he would go on to spend the rest of his life in solitary confinement. Most people in life are amazing to be around, but every once in a while there is a chance that you could bump into a psychopath, so always take precautions and always be prepared so that you too don't end up as a victim. Have a happy day.
Very good. This was an amazing video, bro. He talking to you. He is talking to me. That shit hit a little close to home, though, bro. He talking to you? Yo. Good video from a talking head. I cannot lie to you, though, Brad. Yeah, chat. Well, none of us are going to go on to do anything weird where we're killing people and shit like those, you know? But honestly, that is very disturbing, bro. I cannot lie to you. Those is very, very, very disturbing. I cannot lie to you, bro. But good video. We're gonna go ahead and put this on the live channel, bro. If you are watching this video on the live channel, Twitch Blueryai, in the description. Come to the stream, bro. Come to the stream and shit like those, though, bro. But yeah, BBG.